I said right foot creep, over walking with that heat. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see. Take some bad walk down, face them with the heat. The devil under your feet, you on your way to sin. Stress me when I can't sleep, back out when I sleep. You play with me, you can't sleep. We going to the sea shoe. You won't have no case when you ain't no sex soon as they face you. You won't have no space when you ain't no sex until we spray you. So man, they coming on. Soon as they close the door, I walk down. They say we did wrong, cause we not come on. But you got that leg and tell it. I ain't gonna get that off. And I don't cause including spouse. Put that bitch inside my drawers. Every time I walk the dog, I work for Tim and so cities. You throw a disc and you get tossed. Say you ain't kiss that cross my name up, ain't no talk. If they had a drink out at the stove for my pop, I window. I can see it spout, but I ain't seen this enjoying dicks and make some talk. Big crowd, got that on me and I'm solo. Knowing that it's I said they cause a mess at the powder. I said right foot creep, walking with that heat. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see. Get some bad, walk down, face them with that. Just come outside, let it night. Take your time, get your life, let it night. Your career's more at stake when you in your prime. That paper, baby, my face on the dotted line. I've been flying out of town for some peace of mind. It's like always, they just want a piece of mind. I've been focused on the future, never on right now. But I'm sipping, I can boot you, either pink or brown. I'm the one that introduced you to the you right now. Oh my God, that's right. Well, alright, trying to fight in the night. Come alive, ain't it sweet? Ain't it? This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 60 minutes. I just wanna rock. I just wanna rock. Body out ya. Shorty got that body out ya. Hit it once, no time. Shut up. You gon' kill my vibe. Stand on my money, don't know my time. Stick them sides. And you better choose wisely. That's my high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my high. With all the parents of all the seniors, start gathering behind the bench here on the varsity side, right in there somewhere, and that is great. We can start right in 2 minutes.
You're listening to the University of Olivet's official DJ Take 5, DJ out right now. DJ Take 5. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Take 5.
I just put up in it. Me and Bobo in it. Touching what your hand on so first I know she won't. Make her money. This ain't get the other hop out walking down. Then I swear at the top. Wipe it down. I got that wipe it, get your pop and leave your phone. I just can't do it. Ain't hard to tell it, I got money. I just can't do it. Don't tell me nothing, I come from name. Bro, let's go to bitch. Got my mention house of high school. All time I turn my kids up, I been up. Don't give a heard I bought this friend up. Go away about me, I'm diving about my 6 niggas. Chin up, flicking. Try to stick it, take big ball, ball. Stop all that holding. Holding out, y'all, ain't the license. Let me put these up on brace like fuck shit. We think that he gon' roll on me. It's daily, I've been chill out, maze. I've been in my bag, I've been showing my day. Oh, 13 million days. I ain't hope. She ain't tell me they got punished, she ain't for Gucci rings. She got neck where I was down, now I'm out in Essex. We might catch them in the lobby, bro, don't pop out with a maze. Tell my daddy that I said it, 2 spades, for that head like that, they didn't see me, heard it, put up in that.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Cutler Athletic Complex for today's Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association football game between the Albion College Britons and the University of Olivet Comets. The University of Olivet and Albion College have many proud traditions, for sportsmanship is not one of them. The student-athletes' involvement in intercollegiate activities contributes to the development of their core values of fairness, integrity, honesty, and respect. These values are an integral part of a competitive yet positive game environment. The University of Olivet, the MIAA, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by its student-athletes, coaches, and spectators. Profanity, racist or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at student-athletes, coaches, officials, or other fans is not permitted and will not be tolerated during today's game. As always, we remind you, be loud, be proud, and be positive. Today is Senior Day, and at this time, the University of Olivet would like to recognize its senior football players and marching Comets. First, the senior football players. Charlie Grant is an insurance and risk management major from Charlotte and graduate of Charlotte High School. He is escorted today by his parents, Josh and Liz Grant, and after graduating from Olivet, Charlie plans to work in claims and coach high school football. Grayson Middleton is a criminal justice major from Schwartz Creek and a graduate of Schwartz Creek High School. He is escorted today by Bethany Ackerman, Matt Middleton, Rich Ackerman, and Megan Brunn. After graduating from Olivet, Grayson will be commissioned in the United States Army as an officer. Mason Nowak is a business management major from Eaton Rapids and a graduate of Eaton Rapids High School. He is escorted today by his parents, Brian and Cheryl Nowak. After graduating from Olivet, Mason plans to attend flight school. Chris Palman is an exercise science major from Grand Rapids and a graduate of Comstock Park High School. He is escorted today by his mother, Diana Palman, and fiancée, Ella. After graduating from Olivet, Chris plans to coach football and be a personal trainer. Eli Sathoff is an exercise science major from Blanchard and graduate of Chippewa Hills High School. He is escorted today by his mom, Carrie Sathoff. After graduating from Olivet, Eli is unsure of his plans, but that's all right. That's no big deal. And now for our 4 senior marching comets. Ian Helzer is escorted today by his parents, Rick and Marty Helzer. Ian is a biology with concentration in ecology and organismal biology major. After graduating from Olivet, he plans to marry his fiancée, Mackenzie Hillsberg, and work at a zoo in the state of Florida. Sophia Lizinski is escorted today by her parents, Clayton and Kathy Lizinski. Sophia is a music major, or music education major, with a teaching minor. After graduating from Olivet, she plans to marry her fiancé, Eli Nielsen, and work in the educational field in elementary music or high school band. Lena Hatter is escorted today by her parents, George and Elisa Hatter. Lena is a computer science major, and after graduating from Olivet, she plans to pursue a career in the tech industry. How about a big hand for all the seniors again today? The University of Olivet Athletic Department would like to thank these seniors for their hard work and dedication to the football program and the marching comets. We wish all of you the best of luck in your future endeavors. The pregame performance by the Marching Comets features our graduating seniors, Ian Helzer, Marcelina Hatter, and Sophie Lisinski. Ian is a 4-year member of the Marching Comets and has served as drum major for the past 2 years. Lena has been a member of our mellophone section for 5 years, and Sophie has been our featured trumpet soloists for the past 2 years. All these students have been great additions to the band, and we wish them well in their future. Today, the seniors have selected to perform 2 pieces from Marching Comet's history, Rasputin and a Crazy Little Thing Called Love. All right, give it up for the Marching Comets. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please stand if you are able and direct your attention to the south end of the playing field for the playing of our national anthem being performed by the Marching Comets. Once again, give it up for the Marching Comics. Fans can find all the latest news, statistics, and athletic information on the athletics website, www.olivetcomics.com. You can get the most up-to-date news by following Olivet Athletics on X and Instagram and liking us on Facebook. The concession stand is open in the lower level of the Pine Pavilion, so please visit that.
A down year, especially Albion compared to their historic success. I believe you said, Eli, while we were kind of looking, they gave us a fact sheet apparently, which was really nice. Apparently, according to the Albion fact sheet, they are one of the winningest teams in all of Division III. I believe you said they're 11th, right?
Yep. According to the sheet here, Albion is the 11th winningest program with 666 program wins.
Wow.
In Division III. So definitely a rich history, and Albion definitely look for them to get it back on track. And if you're a Brit, I'm sure they're going to get it right back on track. You know, they got a pretty good coaching staff. The coaching staff has competed in the MIAA every year they've been here, except this year. So kind of just a down year. You know, I'm sure they'll figure things out and be right back at it next year.
Indeed, and of course, all programs, no matter how successful or not successful they are, have down years or have years where they're just, you know, randomly good and stuff like that. So there's definitely two sides to this. But yeah, if you're an Albion Brit, this is definitely not what you're accustomed to. But I'm sure that in the future you'll be right back to where you are accustomed to, and that's just being consistently a solid football team. Before we get going here, because we have about 6 minutes left until kickoff, and we're going to be actually getting set. The Comets football team has not made their way out to the field yet, but we are, of course, awaiting that, and it will be happening very shortly. Let's talk a little bit about some more impactful players for Albion today, especially on the defensive end, because when I was doing my research for this game, I realized, wow, they've got some monsters on the defensive end. They have a lot of players that are, you know, have a knack for getting those tackles for loss, and also a lot of sacks as well from Albion. Would you want to touch on some of those players, Eli, if you do have them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they definitely do have a lot of good defensive players, you know, and I think that plays a big factor today. We've seen Olivet kind of struggle when the quarterback gets under pressure, while Albion is tied for, I believe, first in the MIA with 21 sacks on the season. So they do a really good job of getting after the passer, so that's definitely a big factor today. I'm sure they'll be in whoever the quarterback's face is all day. And, of course, also Adam Mills, phenomenal player. He leads the team in tackles with 89 tackles. That's a lot of tackles on the year. That's phenomenal, you know, and they do a really good job of creating turnovers as well. There's multiple DBs that had multiple interceptions, so definitely a big factor today. That defense, you know, they give up a lot of points, but they have a lot of good players, and they show a lot of good things on the stat sheet. So
exactly, and we've seen this with some of Olivet's opponents, is that, you know, throughout the season, that there have been some defenses they've faced that they don't have a lot of star power on the defensive line, but that really doesn't necessarily matter if you have a lot of these skilled linebackers that will be ready to blitz or kind of pack the box a little bit. I think Albion does have a lot of that talent. They may not have a ton of people on that defensive line who have amazing stats or may make an amazing difference, as the Olivet Comets now coming out onto the field to really start this game. Still have 4 minutes to kick off here. But they still have a lot, as you mentioned, Eli, a lot of linebackers that are incredibly skilled. Of course, Adam Mills, yeah, I mean, by the end of this game, if he gets one tackle, he'll be at 90 tackles for the season. That is just insane to think about. He also has 7.5 tackles for loss, which is also incredible. Ryan Davis, who's number 32, the senior, they have a lot of seniors, a very experienced linebacker core. He has 65 tackles, 3 sacks, and 8 tackles for loss. And Alex Olenek, who for Albion, number 9, the 6'3", 235-pound senior from Pinckney, He only had 44 tackles, but he has 6 sacks and 12 and a half tackles for loss. That is just scary to think about if you're a member of the Olivet offense. So, Eli, what would Olivet need to do today on offense to kind of, to mitigate the experience that Albion has on the defensive side of things?
Yeah, I think the offense has to step up this week. The offense has kind of struggled every single week. They've given up a lot of turnovers. They've put their defense in a really bad position week in and week out. So today the offense has to step up. They have to take that next step forward and play better ball. The offensive line, we talk about it every single week. They've struggled to create running lanes for the running backs. So they need to do that today. They also need to do a good job of protecting Charlie Grant or Danny Avila, whoever the starting quarterback is. We talked about Albion. They get after the passer very well. So the offensive line has to step up today and be able to protect the quarterback so they can air the ball out, which leads me to my next point. They need to air the ball out today. They struggle immensely with the run game. They need to air it out today. And that's for the offense. That's pretty much all I got. They also, we talked about it. They got to limit the turnovers. They can't give Albion multiple possessions caused by turnovers.
And a lot of great points there. And yes, I think when it comes to the performance from the just the passing side of things. It's going to be interesting to see, Danny Avila now looking like he will be getting the start here, or maybe at least will be playing. He is in uniform at least, which is still a difference from the last few games, as we mentioned. It's going to be interesting to see whoever's the starting quarterback today for Olivet. How will they go about things? Because I know Charlie Grant, when he's been playing, he's made a lot of very careful decisions, which has paid off for the Comets. And Danny Avila has been more known to maybe be a little more risky, but also at times that has really helped out here. But we're getting set to kick off right now as the clock being set to 15 seconds. Angel Potter lining up for the Comets as Albion will be receiving the ball to start. We have Jalen Johnson, the sophomore for Albion, the 5'11 sophomore from Detroit, and also a transfer from Olivet. So interesting to see him here, and he may be returning the kickoff here as the ball is up, and he will be. The return will be starting at the 5-yard line. Here comes Johnson. He'll try to find some room, and he has some room on the far side. Johnson's still making the miss. He's still going as he crosses the 50. Jalen Johnson finally gets pushed out at the Olivet 40-yard line. What a return to start the game for Jalen Johnson and the Albion Britons.
Absolutely the start you want there if you're the Britons. Great run there by Johnson. He had a little lane and he took it. Out of that, you kind of got your contained man kind of lost contain there. So they got to clean that up on the special teams there. Special teams, I think, will also play a big factor in today's game. And another thing right here, if you're Albion, you want to get out to a hot start. They're 0-2 when they're down at the first half, when they're down at the end of the first quarter. So they got to start out hot today.
First and 10 at the 40 for the Albion Britons. Davis Crossman, the true freshman quarterback under center. He'll hand the ball off to Tayshawn Nichols. And Nichols has some room running up the middle. Nichols has some room, and he has a path of green grass ahead of him. And on the first play of the game, touchdown Britons. Tayshawn Nichols, the senior running back from Monroe, Michigan, making a stand there, as he just found so much room right up the middle, and Olivet secondary was not there to meet him. And with only 20 seconds having been taken off the clock here in this game, Albion already on the board.
Yeah, I don't think you can script a better start there. You take the kickoff all the way over past the 50, and then you run it in with one touch. So kind of interesting there. They didn't have their normal starter, Alex Trudell, out. They had Tayshawn Nichols, but he did a great job there.
And there was either a fumble on that snap, or they tried to do a fake. Regardless, it will be no good on the extra point for Albion, so the score will remain 6-0 Britons. And now already the Olivet returning team already out there on the field, and we'll have to see what they cook up here on this drive. And now with that initial start being carried out by the Britons, if you're Olivet, what should you look to do here on this first drive to kind of just make even more of a statement than Albion just made?
Yeah, you just got to kind of settle down and you just got to calm the nerves. This is going to be a long game. I expect it to be a shootout. in some respects. So if you're Albion's offense here, just get the ball, be methodical, don't be greedy. If you cannot turn the ball over here, you just want to move it down the field and start inserting your dominance with the players.
And Logan Gerwinski here kicking it off for the Britons. And the ball will be returned starting at the 5 from Carter Leatherwood, the freshman wide receiver. He'll make some room on the near side and then gets tackled at around the 27-yard line, but there is a flag on the play as Leatherwood a little slow to get up there. That flag was thrown at around the 25, kind of on the other side of the field. We'll have to see what this will be. Eli, what'd you see there?
I didn't really see exactly what the flag is going to be, but it's probably it's kind of indicating in the area of like a blindside block or holding, something of that nature. So I'm sure, I don't know exactly what it will be here as we wait the ref.
They're still discussing this, and we'll have to see what this will be. If it's on, currently, it will be on the return team. So it'll be Olivet first down from the spot of the foul. It'll be moving it back to around the 20. Actually, I'm looking, make sure that they have it right there. Around the 15-yard line is where Olivet will set up shop here, and making it official, Danny Avila, the first start since September 27th against Adrian, and now he returning to the field. Of course, sure, this is a good moment for this young man. 1st and 10 on the 15. After that penalty, that sent him back about 10 yards. Avila will step back to pass. First throw is completed to Rashawn Mercier. He's still not down, and he will get to around the 25-yard line, and that will, let's see if that will be enough, and it will be for a first down. Good quick pass there to start the drive.
Exactly. I think they're going to look a lot to that quick pass today and then use the quick pass to set up the deep ball. And I kind of like Olivet here, when they were warming up, they had Charlie Grant with the starting group, and then Danny Avila comes out and starts. I kind of like that, not letting Albion know that Danny Avila will be the starting quarterback, kind of making them think that it's still going to be Charlie Grant, but they brought out Danny Avila. So
kind of throwing him off there. I like that.
Exactly.
1st and 10 on the 25. Avila faking the handoff again. A quick pass complete to Rashawn Mercier, and he will be brought down after crossing the 35, and that will be another quick first down for the Comets. Now, this is what I like to see here, Eli, and maybe you could comment on this a little bit too, is that I do kind of notice that when Danny Avila is the starting quarterback, Olivet's offense moves quicker, and I think that as long as they make smart decisions, it works out well on their end.
Yeah, they definitely do have a lot faster pace with Avila in there. And something else that I kind of already noticed about him just on those couple of plays right there is he seems very posed and very calm in the pocket. He had a rusher coming right up the middle on that one, and he was just able to continue to throw it, wasn't afraid of it.
1st and 10 on the 31. This time he'll hand it off to Jalen Johnson. Johnson will be tripped up at around the 43-yard line, so a gain of around 5 on the carry. Now with less than 13 minutes left to go in this first quarter, it will be a Comet second down.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job so far of getting positive yards, not getting negative yards, and that's something they have to do today. We've seen time and time again this season. They get a good play, and then they get a negative play, and then it's 3rd and long. And, they don't have a good 3rd down conversion rate because they put themselves in so many 3rd and longs.
Indeed, and that was Adam Mills on the tackle for Albion. I believe that will be his 90th tackle on the year. 2nd and 5 on the 43. Avila will hand it off again to Jalen Johnson. Trying to power his way through to that first down marker. He won't get there, but he'll get awfully close. And he'll get across the 45, and it'll be 3rd and 1 coming up on the 47 here for the Comets, and 3rd and short. Don't want a 3rd down, but at least, because you're talking about those 3rd down conversions, at least a 3rd and 1 is manageable, but a good opportunity for Albion to get a stop here.
Absolutely, yeah. Olivet, is only 34% on 3rd downs this year because they put themselves in so many 3rd and longs. But right here you have a 3rd and 1. This is probably 4-down territory. Probably run it twice here.
And they will run it at least once, and this time he will be stopped. And Albion very excited about that stop there. And they will be, looks like they'll be at least moved back by at least a yard there, and it'll be 4th and 2 coming up. They ran it once, but now after that stop, What will they do here as Danny Avila getting some direction from Coach Scheider and the rest of the sideline?
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that, you run it, and then you try to run it again if you don't get it, but just not going to block it up front by the offensive line there. There was 3-4 defenders in the backfield immediately, so now you got 4th and second. They'll probably look to pass here.
Julian Toscano set in motion. Brashears and Noah Bates out to receive, and they will look to pass indeed. Avila, pressure coming, airs it out to the near side, and it is overthrown. And it will be turnover on downs for the Comets, as I think there was maybe some excitement there from Danny Avila, or maybe even some miscommunication or some good stopping by the Albion secondary. Regardless, the result of the play is still the same. It will be Albion taking over here.
Really good stop there for Albion's defense. It looks like Rashawn Mercia was the intended receiver. I don't think he expected it to come to him at all. I think Danny Avila should have taken a check down there. So definitely should have just taken his check down. He had Caleb Rudd.
1st and 10, Davis Crosswell handed off to Tayshawn Nichols, who had that touchdown run earlier. And after looking like he was going to have a gain of nothing, he made something work there, and it will be a 2nd and medium coming up for the Britons.
Great footwork there by Nichols. We still haven't seen Alex Trudell, so I'm sure something's wrong with him, or they're just looking at Nichols.
2nd and 7 here, 10:31 left to go. Score still 6-0. Crossman will once again hit it off to Tayshawn Nichols, and this time we'll get a gain of about a yard or two, but will this time be wrapped up by several red jerseys, and it will be Albion 3rd down. And you make a good point there. We have not seen Albion's leading rusher Alex Trudell, and Tayshawn Nichols, again, he's a senior, has that experience, but that is interesting. And now on this play, Eli, Tayshawn Nichols lining up as a receiver. They're going 5 wide here for this 3rd and 6 on the 42 with 10 minutes left to go. Crossman waiting to receive the snap. And that he does. Pressure comes immediately, throws, and it's a quick pass complete over the middle to the tight end, number 17, Connor Davey. And that will be a gain of about 1 or 2 on that reception. Again, quick little pass there. And it will set up for a manageable 4th down for the Britons.
Yeah, really good job there by the defense of Olivet of getting that tackle immediately. You only give up a yard or 2 because that tackle was a very good form tackle, and he got him to the ground immediately, which is something that they have to do a lot better of, is tackling this today.
9:22 left to go in this first quarter. 4th and 3 for the Britons. Crossman dropping back, pressure coming, fires a quick pass, and it is complete to Tayshawn Nichols. He's still up, but it doesn't look to be enough for a 1st down. We'll have to see what the ruling is. Both sides are fighting it, and they're still waiting. I believe it will be a turnover on downs.
I don't think he got it, but it looks like they might be giving it. It looks like
we'll have to see, and
it looks like a very
close,
very favorable spot there. I thought he was back about half a yard or so.
After some initial confusion, because it looked like Albion was sending their defense out, it looks like they will be giving them the 1st down. And that exactly is what they will do. 1st down, Albion. That was a very close call there, because it looked like he forward motion stopped before, but refs have a better angle. Yeah. 8:39 left to go in this first quarter, and they whistle play dead.
A whole bunch of confusion over here. Looks like the chain staff is not getting set over there, and the coaching staff for Olivet is absolutely irate right now, and I don't blame them. I thought that was quite a favorable mark on the ball.
Coach Scheider's definitely making his case to one of the line refs there. And 8:37 left to go, and it will be a 1st and 10 for Albion at the 36-yard line. Crossman with 3 receivers to his right, and a new running back at his hip, and he'll fake it off to that running back, and instead will throw a pass to Brandon Fracassi. Fracassi making some misses. He tries to flip the field here. Fracassi has some room. He's at the 10, and he has the angle. Touchdown, Albion! Braden Fracassi, the junior receiver, the junior from South Lyon, Michigan. He started on the opposite end of the field there, kind of towards the Albion sideline. And when he realized there wasn't anything going from there, he completely reversed his course and found the angle. What a play there by the junior receiver.
That play there was just all on him. He just made great plays, a lot of great footwork, a lot of good jukes, following his blockers, allowing his linemen to get out in front of him after he caught that pass. So just great running yards after the catch there.
And the extra point from Logan Gerwinski, the kicker. slash punter is good. And the score now is Albion 13, Olivet 0. Well, it certainly looks like Albion not really looking like a team that hasn't won any MIAA games so far this season, as Olivet kind of coming out here with a slow start, and really it's no fault of their offense. Their offense hasn't been too bad so far in this game. It's just their defense so far just can't keep up with the Britons, Eli.
Yeah, absolutely. The defense has got to step it up. You know, this game's probably going to be a shootout, but you already given up 13 points in only a couple minutes. So definitely not what you want. Definitely not the start that you envision if you're Coach Jair and the rest of this Olivet staff. But they got to pick it up here. Nevertheless, it already happened, so you got to look forward. Danny Avila's got to come out and maybe kind of slow down, not get so aggressive. The deep ball isn't quite open yet. Albion's doing a good job of taking care of the deep ball so far, so kind of just take your underneath stuff, take your flood concepts, and stuff like that for Danny Avila.
And they have the same returning staff out here for this kickoff. Again, 8:15 left to go in this first quarter. The score, Albion 13, Olivet 0. This is on Olivet's senior day. We're only five seniors on their team. We kind of talked about this during the pregame a little bit, and again, just kind of owing to the fact that the progress that Olivet needs to make, or has already made, will be taking some time here, as right before Logan Gurwinski sets up to kick, there's some confusion from the refs.
Looks like the ball just fell off the tee.
And Gurwinski will now restart here. Again, 8:15 left to go. Same return man out for Olivet, Carter Leatherwind. It looks like Wade Bashir's joining him. And the kick will be sailing to the far side, and Carter Leatherwood will return it again, except this time he does get tripped up early, and he will be down at around the 22-yard line. So Olivet with a slightly better field position compared to their last drive, but definitely not maybe the most ideal still that they wanted. But it's going to be interesting to see what their approach is going to be like over the offense, over this drive now, especially since, as you kind of mentioned, they took some more risks later in that drive, especially with that Danny Avila deep ball that was just a little too deep. And we'll have to see what they do here with 8:11 left to go in this first quarter. It's now a 1st and 10 on the 23. Danny Avila sending Julian Toscano in motion, the tight end. And they'll drop back to pass. Good protection by the O-line, and Avila will take it himself and will slide early, this time getting a gain of about 4 or 5 on the keep. And it will be 2nd and medium coming up for the Comets.
Really good job there by Avila. He didn't have anything open down the field. Albion did a good job of covering all the guys. He saw open area that he had. He took off and ran for it. And he was able to slide down and get a good pickup on first down. So really good job by him. Really good decision as they get it ready for 2nd down.
2nd down and 5 on the 28. And with some changing in the receiver core here, as we've kind of seen every other play here. Avila running out to his right. He'll go to a short pass to the running back, Jalen Johnson, who will run out of bounds just before the 40. So that will be definitely enough for that first down and a little more. There'll be a gain of definitely over 10 on that play. And it'll be a Comet first down once again with 7:17 left to go.
Yeah, Danny Avila's looking really good in the pocket right now. He's looking really comfortable, really posed and calm. But they're also doing a good job of moving the pocket and getting him kind of on the outside, because this offensive line has kind of struggled against the defensive line already in this game and all season.
1st and 10 on the 40. Avila pitching in, and it's going to be a pass actually by 31 for the Comets, which will be Church Mansika, the tight end from Las Vegas, Nevada, as he throws it to his fellow tight end, Julian Toscano, on that interesting kind of maybe digging into their bag a little bit and maybe doing some trickery here. And also Church Maznika, one of the tallest players on the team at 6'4". Interesting to see him on that play. 2nd down Comets.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they wanted Church to kind of air it out a little downfield more, but he didn't have anything open. He had pressure right in his face. So really good job by not forcing it. A lot of times when teams run that play, they end up in an interception because they try to force it downfield.
Avila will this time hand it off, and it's going to be a free flicker here. Avila, the pressure's coming though as he tries to air it out again, and it's no good. The pass intended for Julian Toscano downfield had some contact there with Isaac Rayberg, the freshman linebacker there on coverage, and they really are looking kind of again, getting in their bag, looking for some trickery as it started as a handoff to Jalen Johnson, then flipping to Wade Brashears, who then flipped it back to Danny Avila. So Olivet trying to catch Albion off guard here with these plays.
Yeah, I kind of like that play design. I just don't like the call right now. I don't think you need a trick play this early in the game, but Toscano was open down the field. Danny Avila just wasn't able to get his feet set and pass the ball.
Avila will look for a short pass, and that is deflected, and it will be ruled down and incomplete as on the lineman there for Albion. I believe it was number 8, Rodney Chapman, the 6'4 junior from Warren, Michigan, on the deflection there. And we have a 4th and short coming up here for the Comets, and it looks like they will be going for it here.
Yeah, just phenomenal play there by Chapman. Just got his hand up. He wasn't able to get to Avila, so he was able to get his hand up. Exactly what you want from your defensive lineman.
6 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Avila will settle some things down here as they still have a few seconds left on this play clock. 4th and 3 on the 47. 2 receivers on either side. Avila this time will pitch it off to Jalen Johnson. Will try to get the angle. Will he get there? It looks like he does. Waiting for the ruling on the refs, and he will get there. He just barely gets the angle on that near side, and it will be a first down as Olivet crosses the 50 and for the first time getting into Albion territory.
I really like how Olivet is doing a really good job of stretching their plays out along the entire length of the field. We've seen a lot where they try to run it right up the middle, and they don't have success running it right up the middle. They haven't had success on really any teams this year, so they're kind of stretching it out, going both sideline to sidelines, and I really like that from the offense.
Sean Mercier being set in motion on this 1st and 10 on the 48, and it will be a handoff to Jalen Johnson, who does run it right up the middle, this time with a little more success, as he'll be down after crossing the 45 around the 43 or 44-yard line. He'll set up a 2nd and about 4 or 5 to go for the Comets. But you make a really good point. Yeah, we have seen that trend very much across the entire season, where when it comes to any of their running plays, they just try to go up the middle, try to find something there. They really haven't gone to the outside much. And we've seen it in years past, even when Coach Moose was at the helm, and we had running backs like Dontel White and Samuel Canucci. Running on the outside does in fact work. 2nd and 6 on the 44 with less than 5 minutes left to go in this first half. Avila under center, look to pass, fire, and it is complete to Noah Bates as he will get across the 35 and will be down at the 34, and it'll be another first down for the Comets. And it's, again, Noah Bates, kind of good seeing him out there and getting active.
I think that's Caleb.
Actually was Caleb Rudd. Again, some of these numbers just very hard to read from the press box.
Noah Bates is 81, Caleb Rudd is 80, so they're kind of really tricky to see.
They really are.
Between them, especially when they're on the far side away from us.
Still the Caleb Rudd sophomore receiver, though, making a difference on that play. 4:06 left to go. 1st and 10 on the 34. Avila will fake the handoff, looking for something downfield. He's looking for Wade Brashears, who's wide open, and he just can't get the handle. Wade Brashears had an end zone to himself. He just couldn't, the freshman receiver just couldn't get it. So it will be 2nd down coming up for the Comets.
I really like that play call right there. The route was run really good by Wade Brashears. Danny Avila had a really good pass. Brashears just wasn't able to bring it in. He kind of had to stick his arms out there, and then he started to fall a little before I think he really wanted to. Then the ball kind of just hit the ground. He wasn't able to bring that one in. But we can see they can push the ball downfield vertically with the pass game, which I think is going to become crucial later in this game today.
Mercier being set in motion on the 2nd and 10. And this will hand it off to Jalen Johnson, who runs on the far side. Jalen Johnson has some room as he crosses the 20. A gain of over 14 on that carry, and it will be first down after that play by Jalen Johnson. Again, he found a lot of success because he chose one of the outside, chose to go to one of the sidelines, and he found some more room there.
Yeah, it looked like he initially wanted to go up the middle, didn't have anything going up there. He was able to bounce it to the outside and found some success out there. So they're doing a really good job of getting to the outside, which later in the game will open up the middle as the defense is forced to kind of stretch out to match that.
Mercier being set in motion, 1st and 10 on the 19. Avila, this time we'll hand it off to Jalen Johnson, who runs it up the middle. Johnson breaks some tackles, and he's in! Touchdown, Olivet. Jalen Johnson, this time finding some room up the middle and kind of making it aware that even though they haven't found a lot of previous success, it still does work. now and again, and Albion is having some issues stopping the run here so far early in this game.
Yeah, they definitely are. Looks like Olivet is going to line up to go for 2 here. Kind of an interesting call, but I like it because they've been aggressive all day, and I think they need to be aggressive to get this win today. Really good blocking by the offense there. Great job by the right guard, Andrew Clark. Kind of had a pull through, and he got up there and got a good block.
Going for 2, and this time Noah Bates is in here for this for this 2-point conversion. 3:06 left to go. Vila will pitch it to Jalen Johnson, and he will walk in, and that will be a 2-point conversion. That is good. Albion now leads 13-8 with 3:06 left to go in this first quarter, and that's exactly the kind of drive you needed if you're Olivet to kind of really just make this game a little more even and to gain back some of the momentum that was lost after those first couple Albion drives.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're doing a phenomenal job of something that we've kind of wanted to see all year. They've been running up the middle all year, and we've continuously said they are not having success running up the middle. And they're finally starting to push it sideline to sideline, and their tackles are doing a good job of sealing the edges on the defensive ends. So I really like that. And eventually, as I said, it will open up the middle of the middle of the offensive line. So really good job by that. This drive is crucial right here. The defense has got to get a stop if you want to tie it up here. But really good drive by the offense. The offense is looking really well today. They just have to be able to continue to do that all day. They have to continue to have sustained drives.
They need to kind of be consistent here. And as Angel Potter kicking off, it's a short kick as it will bounce around and will head out of bounds at around the 20-yard line. That kick didn't look like it had a lot of distance coming off the tee, but it will be, of course, flagged for going out of bounds. And Albion will be setting up shop here for their next drive. And let's look at some stats here while we have the time. Danny Avila, 4 for 8, 45 yards. Again, first start since September 27th. Davis Crossman has not had an incompletion. That's Albion's quarterback, has not had an incompletion yet today. And again, we're kind of seeing that balance from Albion's offense. They have 3 passing attempts, and it's actually going to be offsides by the kicking team, and that will be offset. It'll be first down.
Yeah, there was 2 penalties there on the kicking team. Olivet a little offsides, so they ran past the ball before it was kicked off, and then obviously the ball went out of bounds.
Yes.
But kind of looked like he was intentionally trying to put it in a gap over here on the Olivet's sideline, and it just kind of took an unlucky bounce and rolled out of bounds.
Indeed, and first and 10 on the 35, Crossman will hand it off to number 6 for Albion. That will be Nevin Dent, another one of the running backs for Albion, and he will go nowhere on that play. Will actually get a loss of a yard there, and it will be 2nd and 11 coming up for the Britons, and a solid stop there by the Comets on that play. Again, kind of trying to, making it seem like the running ain't always too easy for the Albion offense.
Really good job there by the defense tackles. They got pressure immediately on that play.
Olivet sideline finding some way to stay active here in this cold weather, and we have a stoppage of play here from the refs. Maybe some confusion going on here. It will be false start on the offense. I guess there was a flag thrown there after all, and Albion will be moved back even farther, so this will be a 2nd and 15 here for the Britons, and definitely not what you want. Not only do you have that, no gain, almost looking like a loss of 1 on that one, but now you're moved back 5 yards. So let's see what they do here. 2:24 left to go in this first quarter, and they will hand it off again to Nevin Dent. Dent's still going, but he's just not going to go anywhere, as I think he got a couple yards before being pushed back farther, and they will give him 2 yards on the carry, so it will be 3rd and long coming up here for the Britons.
Yeah, a great opportunity for Olivet's defense here to get a stop, and if, the defense here, you're looking probably for Carlton Freeman, who has a lot of sacks, and Austin Straub, I believe it is as well. For them to be able to get after the quarterback here, because it's 3rd and down, 3rd and long, obvious passing situation.
3rd and 12 on the 33. Crossman dropping back to pass pressure, coming immediately. He'll air it out, and it will be complete downfield, and the receiver is still going as he will go all the way to the Olivet 20-yard line. Dylan Dennison, the 6'3" graduate year player from Reading, Michigan. He's, I think the only player on this team who is a fifth year. Talk about experience as Crossman found him for a connection, but there is a flag on the play, kind of around where the line of scrimmage was. So this may be called all the way back. We'll have to see what the refs say. It will not be called back. It will be unnecessary roughness on Olivet. So not only will that stand, but will also, I believe, be moved even closer to the end zone there. And just adding insult to injury there for the Comets. And they're doing a really good job at stopping the run today, but still the pass defense still needs some work, clearly.
Yeah, it definitely does. The quarterback there just did a phenomenal job of putting the ball right where it needed to be, kind of put it in the middle of two defenders, right on his receiver, and then it was just a good run after the catch.
First and 10 on the 11 as Crossman will hand the ball off to Tayshawn Nichols, trying to make something work. And on that play, he won't get his second touchdown of the day, but he'll get awfully close, as I believe he got down at around the 3-yard line. And it will be second down coming up for the Britons, as they're also swapping some players in and out as well.
Yeah. Another thing that I've noticed, too, is the offensive line for the Brits, they like to kind of do a shift. So they'll line up, won't put their hands down, and then they'll all shift down one way or the other.
And this time it's Braden Ficassi who gets the handoff. Did he make it in? It looks like he did. And it will be touchdown Albion. Again, another score by Braden Ficassi, the junior, the 5'11" receiver who, again, had that amazing reception there to get Albion their second score. And this time, I couldn't see if he was in Wildcat formation or if he just got the ball handed off to him. But regardless, he was the ball carrier on that play, and he just, had enough room and dived right in and got the score.
Absolutely, yeah.
And now a extra point, Logan Gerwinski up and good. So they score now, Albion 20, Olivet 8. It is still the first quarter, although 35 seconds left of it. But we're seeing kind of some elements of a shootout being played here. But if it really wants to be a shootout, Olivet's really got to make sure that they're still getting kind of, still scoring at this point so that they can still keep it close. And on the one chance that Albion doesn't end up scoring on a drive, they can just keep matching that and get even with them later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good job there by Ficassi. That was kind of his second touchdown. That was pretty much all on him as well. It looked like it was kind of like a jet sweep, and he didn't really have anything going on the outside, so he turned it back in, and then he dragged two defenders for about 2 yards into the end zone. So really good play by him so far. He's had 2 touches, I believe, and both of them have been touchdowns. So phenomenal game by him so far. For the defense of Olivet, you got to pick it up. You can't have that all game, otherwise it's going to be a long day for the defense, and they're going to be on the field a lot.
And Gowinski now on the kickoff. Up in the air, and it will be sailing to the back of the end zone. It will be a touchback, and then Olivet will set up shop at the designated area. But you're exactly right, though. The 2 times that Braden Ficassi has touched the football have resulted in touchdowns. Of course, again, earlier in the quarter, had that 36-yard reception, and now this last one being graded as a rushing touchdown off of what you said was kind of a jet sweep there. That one went for 5 yards for another touchdown. Albion, so far, 2 rushing touchdowns to 1 passing touchdown, and the only touchdown Olivet has gotten has been on the ground. First and 10 on the 25 with 35 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Again, the score 20-8, Albion leading. Jalen Johnson, the running back for Olivet, will get the handoff, but will go nowhere, being stopped by several defenders from Albion. It will be a gain of 1 on that carry, and it will be second down for the Comets.
Yeah, we've been talking about, Olivet has been doing a good job of running to the outside there. They try to go up the middle again, and there was just really nothing going for Johnson. The offensive line wasn't able to create any paths for him. So offensive line, they got to clean it up a little bit and play some better football, as it looks like Olivet is just going to let this time run out. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter with the visiting Albion Brits up 20-8.
Indeed, and definitely the start you want if you're the Britons. Of course, again, if you're a team looking for your first win in conference play this year, this is exactly how you want to start it. And of course, first points they've put up since 2 weeks ago, when they were not facing a team named the Hope Flying Dutchman. But yeah, some more stats here before we get going here for the second quarter. Again, also pretty equal for Olivet's side of things. Eight attempts for both passing and rushing. The yardage is also pretty equal. And then same thing goes for the Brits. So we're seeing a very balanced attack going on here for both teams, and it seems to be working. Even for Olivet, it seems to be working pretty well. Again, I think the crux of their issues, and I think this has been the same way the entire season, is that their defense just has not been able to stop the attacks coming from their opponents, while Olivet's offense is having to make up for the difference there, because a lot of the problems just aren't coming from Olivet's offense. They have been pretty efficient, whether that's Avila or Grant under center. And in this game, now on the second quarter, getting ready to start here, Avila now dropping back, pressure coming, and it's just a throw intended for Jalen Johnson, just a tad bit short. And it'll be 3rd and 9 coming up for the Comets. But now you try to compare the offensive and defensive problems for Olivet throughout the season, and you find a lot more defensive ones. And in this game, that's just another example because, as I mentioned, Olivet is being pretty efficient with the football so far. Yeah, definitely. They got to kind of pick it up here, though. Don't want to give it right back to the offense of Albion. 3rd and 9 on the 26. Opening seconds having gone by in the second quarter. Avila stepping back to pass, throws, and it will it be complete or not? Did he get the handle? It looks like I don't think he did. It'll be 4th and 9. It almost looked like he had the handle there. Regardless, it was in pretty contentious coverage there. So that was intended for Rashawn Mercier. And now for the first time today, Asen Hawks, the freshman punter, who has punted actually after this punt, if it goes smoothly, will have punted for over 1,200 yards this season. He will be set to kick off here for the Comets. And to return for the Blitz, it looks to be, I believe it is Braden Fracassi returning here, and it will be indeed as the ball rolling out the 50, and he's picking it up. Fracassi has some room on the far side. Will he get his 3rd touchdown of the day? He will! Braden Fracassi already has a hat trick on the day. Touchdown Blitz. I can't believe this. Braden Fracassi on 3 touches has gotten 3 scores. As the ball kind of bouncing around that 50-yard line, and he just took it up and he ran with it. And he had just enough of an angle, and this junior receiver is having a career game here at the Cutler Athletic Complex. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal decision to pick it up there. He let it take a bounce, and then he saw that there was absolutely no Olivet defenders on the far side, and he picked it up, and he had no one near him until about the 15-yard line. So just great decision by him and great running. And Logan Gurwinski there, with the extra point being good. Albion now leads 27-8 after that 3rd touchdown from Braden Fracassi, who again has a receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and now a punt return touchdown. Just an absolutely incredible performance so far for that young man. And we're going to have to see how Olivet's going to respond to that. Again, as we mentioned, not a ton of problems on the offensive side of things, but clearly, it's even on special teams, the defense just has not been there at all today. And so far, Olivet taking the field a little early, and now Albion's kicking team now taking the field now. But in terms of their offensive production, Eli, does Olivet need to change anything about what they're doing, or again, is a lot of the crux just coming from their defensive side?
I don't really think they need to change anything necessarily. I think the only thing that I would say they maybe need to change is limit the runs up the middle. They haven't had success with that all year, and they haven't really had success with it today. So they just need to continue to attack the outside and get the ball out of Danny Avila's hands pretty fast, and then eventually, after a lot of quick passes, you can hit a pump fake and go, and then the deep ball will be there. So they just got to continue to be methodical and be consistent. They need to have a long drive right here to keep their defense off. Olivet's defense obviously has given up already. They've only given up 20 points, and then they give up that another touchdown on the kick return. But they've been on the field a lot today, so Olivet's got to have a long, nice drive here.
Indeed they do, and now after the kick from Goriski sails out of bounds, Jalen Johnson will start at the 25, and there he goes! Jalen Johnson, the 50, the 40, can he beat one defender? Yes, he can! Johnson, the 20, the 10, and he's going all the way! Touchdown Olivet! Jalen Johnson, the second scorer for him today, and kind of almost mimicking the exact play that got Albion on the board early on. I believe has to be one of, if not the longest rushing touchdown of the season for Olivet. Jalen Johnson, this time running up the middle and finding that gap, and that's kind of that's the first time we've seen that happen all season, where that kind of play has led to a truly explosive running play. As we do have a Albion defender, I believe it was number 7, Cameron Jones, one of the defensive backs, being, I believe that's his right leg, giving him some issues there. He's now off the field, and hope he's okay. And Olivet will be going for the 2-point conversion here, with the score at the moment being 27-14 Albion. And Avila will pitch it to Church Mansika. Mansika will throw, and it will be incomplete. No flags being thrown, and they just tried to go for that trickery again, using the 6'4" Mansika to just try to make something happen. It will be no good, so the score will remain 27-14. Eli, what'd you see on that play?
Yeah, I thought Mansika, he had the receiver there, he kind of just underthrew him a little bit, which allowed the defender to make up and knock that ball down. But I'm kind of interested by why the coaching staff is going for 2 here. You know, they haven't had trouble kicking. They make a majority of their kicks. Angel Potter, he's a pretty consistent kicker for them, the freshman. So I don't really know why they're going for 2. It might just be that they want to be really aggressive today, which we have seen because they've gone for pretty much, I think, every 4th down they've had except for 1. So they're definitely aggressive today, which I like that. And on that run, you know, I was just saying maybe stop running up the middle, but they heard me. They said we're going to do the opposite of that. They decided to run up the middle, and it was just a phenomenal run by Johnson there, and the offensive line did a really good job there. Fun fact, that was a pretty long touchdown there, probably more than what they average per game rushing. So.
Indeed, that is a kind of a shocking stat there. As a short kick from Angel Potter was bobbled there by the returners for Albion. I think there was 2 men on that ball, and wasn't really sure which one was going to pick it up. Regardless, it will be Albion will be setting up shop at around the 35. As Albion will be returning to their sideline here, just kind of talking some things over as before the offense returns to the field. But yeah, with 14:23 left to go in the second quarter, you know, we've only had. I'm trying to do some math here. We've only had 37 seconds be taken off of this second quarter, and we already have a score of 27-14 here. And Davis Crossman will fake the handoff, and the ball will be deflected, I believe, there by number 42, Javon Peterson, the linebacker. And, you know, talk about there's been a lot of, you know, players from Olivet that's really has made a difference on the defensive side of things. And, you know, and Javon Peterson, who's apparently playing linebacker today, he leads the team in tackles with 62. And clearly making a difference on that play.
Yeah, absolutely. Just phenomenal play by him. Kind of read that play, and then he was just able to get his hand in there just before it got to the receiver.
Crossman will hand off this time to Alex Trudell. The first time we're seeing him all game. That's the Albion's leading rusher, as you'll get about 2 or just 3 on that carry, and it'll be 3rd and medium coming up for the Britons. And, you know, that is the first run for Alex Trudell, but right after that play, Eli, he just got sent out back to the sideline.
Yeah, kind of interesting why we haven't really seen him. You know, he leads this running back group, but we haven't really seen him. He might be dealing with kind of a injury of some sort, and they're trying to limit his play. Or it might just be they're trying to get Nichols in because he is a senior.
3rd and 7. Crossman dropping back. Pressure comes, and the ball is seriously thrown. Is it a fumble? It looks to be. And Olivet will, I believe, recover. I believe they will, in fact, rule that a fumble, and Olivet will recover. However, we do have an injured Comet on the field here. Yeah, I believe it is Corey Cheatham, the defensive lineman.
Yeah, it looks like, I I think he just he was the one that recovered that fumble. It looks like he might have just kind of landed on the ball right in his stomach. That gets you, doesn't feel the greatest. But I'm sure he'll walk that off, and I'm sure we'll continue to see him. Definitely want to see him today because he has had some crucial plays. He's been in the backfield on a couple of plays, but great play there by Freeman. I said that he's going to play a big factor today. He rushes off that edge. Big lengthy D end, so good job by him.
1st and 10. It's Charlie Grant that's getting the pass, and he airs it to the end zone, and it's just short. As he had both him and Avila on the play there. Avila just pitched it to Grant, and it just was a tad bit short there. And it will be 2nd and 10 coming up. But yes, an incredible play by the linebacker, Carlton Freeman. He's just one of those players that on the defensive end, he's just everywhere. And he makes a difference in so many ways. And it was, in fact, Corey Cheatham, according to our PA announcer, just to double check, it was, in fact, him on that recovery. So also a really heads-up play by one of Olivet's biggest linemen. 2nd and 10 on the 28 with 13:29 left to go in this second quarter. Olivet back with the football. Avila will hand it off to Jalen Johnson. Can he make some more magic? And he will get a solid gain and will actually never get down. But, of course, forward motion stopped there. So he will get a gain of about 5 or 6 on the carry. So it's going to set up for a manageable 3rd down here for Olivet.
Yeah, Olivet's doing a really good job right now of mixing and matching the personnel they have. They've been in 11 personnel a lot. They've been in 12. They're mixing it up a lot. They're bringing in extra offensive linemen. We've seen them have 6 or 7 offensive linemen on there. So they're doing a really good job of that and kind of throwing different looks at the defense for Albion.
3rd and 5 on the 23 now for the Comets with 12:45 left to go in this second quarter. Again, the score's still the same, 27-14. Avila has a short pass to Wade Brashear's first time he's getting the ball today. And I believe that will be enough for a 1st down. And the chains are, in fact, a-moving. And yeah, Wade Brashear is again the leader of the receiving corps. First time he's gotten a reception. So just kind of owing to the fact that when it comes to the impact that Olivet's receivers have made throughout the season, it really has been pretty equal. Of course, even then, Wade Brashear is still leading the pack there as a true freshman, which is very hopeful and inspiring for Olivet's future. But that is I believe, his first reception of this game.
Yeah, it is. He had the drop pass earlier in the end zone as Olivet brings in an extra offensive lineman here.
And Jalen Johnson will run it up again across the middle, and he'll get to around the 10-yard line. It will not be enough for the 1st down, but it will be awfully close. He will get down at the 10, and it will be a 2nd and 1 or a 2nd and 2 coming up, for the Comets.
Really good run there on 1st down, though. Setting yourself up for a 2nd and short here. Probably look to take a shot at the end zone or just continue to run it because they've had a lot of success with that run today.
2nd and 2 on the 10-yard line. They will look to run it still. Johnson still on his feet, but won't get anywhere as that time the Albion defense snuffed that one out. So it will be 3rd and short here coming up for the Comets. Let's see what they do on this next play.
Yeah, definitely. This drive has to end in points. You can't come up empty here on this drive. So they got to figure out something here and get this 3rd down. I won't be surprised if it's 4-down territory here. They'll probably look to the air on this one with 3 receivers in.
It's Rudd, Brashears, and Mercier with Toscano being set in motion. It's a 3rd and 2 on the 10-yard line. Available, in fact, look to pass. Has some time. He airs it out to Rudd. He got the handle of it, but he was out of bounds, so it will be incomplete. That was a pretty high pass, but Rudd did credit to him, though, the sophomore receiver. He did have that completed. It just was a little too far, so he was well out of bounds. So now a 4th down. And, you're correct. Even if it's a extra point by Angel Potter, which would only be his 3rd attempt of the season, and it looks like they will just be going for it on 4th down regardless, as they're getting directions from the staff here. It does need to end in points to try to just level this game a little bit more. You still have time, but at the same time, with the defense, you need points now. 4th and 2 on the 10, a very crucial play. The most crucial play so far of the game. It's going to be a short pass to Jalen Johnson. Does he have enough? We'll have to see if he does. Albion's defense motioning. They think they have the stop.
It looks like it's going to be real close, but it looks like they're giving it to him.
To see, and
kind of hard for us to see.
Yeah, very hard to see because it's on the completely other side of the field.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see what they do here. And it looks like it will be a turnover on downs, a heartbreaking stop there from the Comets. And it looks like with Olivet's defense coming out here, Jalen Johnson just didn't have enough. And even though it's not with great field position, Albion gets the stop and will be back out for offense. That's just very unfortunate if you're the Comets there.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely not what you want by any means. You know, your defense got to stop. The defense has struggled today to get a stop. That was, I believe, their first stop, and the offense just wasn't able to do anything with it. So we'll see if the defense can get another stop here.
Crossman will hand it off to the main running back for the day, Tayshawn Nichols, and he won't get much of anything on that carry, maybe a gain of 1, if anything. And that will, with 10:31 left to go in this second quarter, will be a second down for the Comets. It was Javon Pearson and Dontrell Thomas, two of the monsters on that defensive side of the Comets there on that tackle.
Yeah, just really good job there by the defense of plugging all the gaps. You know, it looked like he had 2 lanes, and then they shut those lanes down immediately. So really good job there by the defensive line and the linebackers.
2nd and 9, Crossman stepping back, airing it out to the near side. He has a receiver, and it's caught! Number 18, Cameron Moore, the senior receiver for Albion, 5'10 senior from Belleville. And with that long bomb from Davis Crossman, Albion, the Britons, will march their way into enemy territory with that one, and they will be all the way to the Olivet 40-yard line now with less than 10 minutes left to go in this first half.
Olivet's got to be able to stop the explosive plays. They've given up explosive play after another, and they get them to 3rd and long, and they just give up a big explosive play.
And Tayshawn Nichols trying to make an explosive play of his own on that one. He will be brought down after crossing the 30, but definitely gets well enough for that first down there. And now we're seeing Albion kind of, after maybe some lackluster movement on previous drives, we're kind of seeing them now kind of find that steady progress, and how that really needs in their future drives as well. With 9:06 left to go in this first half, again, score still the same, 27-14, Albion leading. Crossman will instead hand it off to Dylan Dennison, who escapes the tackles and will make something out of nothing there. Olivet kind of looked like they had the handle on that play. Looked like they were going to kind of force the stop there, but instead, somehow, Dylan Dennison, the 5th-year receiver, kind of on that pitch there, will get at least a gain of 1, so it'll be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, really good play there by Carlton Freeman. He kept his contain as the defensive end, but he just wasn't able to bring the guy down. Kind of, I've talked about it. They got to stop the arm tackling, and they got to be able to form tackle and take the guys to the ground.
2nd and 9 on the 26-yard line with 8:20 left to go. Trudell is back in the game. Alex Trudell, the leading rusher for Albion, and he will try to make something happen on the far sideline, and it will not be enough for the first down, but will be a solid game that will just move them closer to that marker. Again, that's only the 2nd time we have seen him, and again, immediately getting subbed out in favor of Tayshawn Nichols. And now this is coming up on 2 plays possibly that are going to be a very, very crucial stop here for the Brits of Albion.
Absolutely. If you're Olivet here, you have to get a stop. You cannot go down another score. You're already down 2 scores. You cannot go down another score. So I'm sure it's 4 down territory here if you're the Britons.
3rd and 4. Crossman with a receiver on either side. Waiting the snap, he'll hand it off to Tayshawn Nichols. Nichols trying to make something happen. This time he is stopped by the Olivet defense. He did not get there, so it will be 4th down. Only about 2 to go, but still forcing a 4th down is definitely improvement for this Olivet defense. And we'll have to see what they do here, because you already had a stop on the, kind of vice versa, where, Albion with a crucial stop against the Comets. Now, can the Comets do it to the Brits of Albion? Let's see here. 4th and 2 on the 19-yard line, 6:55 left to go. Crossman with a back at his hip. That is Nevin Dent. And receiver on either side. He will hand it off to Dent. Dent will get the first down and a little more. He's still going as he crosses the 10. And he will be brought down at around the 6. and it will be first down and goal coming up for the Britons. They escape that crucial fourth down.
Really good job of blocking up front by the offensive line as they look to go hurry up here.
Yeah, hurry up offense indeed. First and goal here. Nevin Dent dragging defenders with him, trying to get more yards. He got awfully close. Oh, he doesn't have it, but he got awfully close to the goal line there. And the refs will rule him down at the 3, it looks like, as we have another Comet down on the field here. It will be injury timeout here for the Comets. We don't necessarily know who it is at the moment.
It looks like it's Chatham again.
Looks like it might be Corey Cheatham again, which again very unfortunate here for the Comets, as we have both teams returning to their respective sidelines here, as Cheatham is being attended to by trainers, and it is in fact Cheatham, and he will sit up and will get up, which is, again, great to see. Again, we hope he's okay, as the ball actually will be set at the 2-yard line as Cheatham walks off with little assistance, which is really nice to see. Again, we hope he's doing well. With 6:09 left to go, the Olivet defense now making their way back onto the field, and now after that injury timeout, we'll have to see will Albion continue their momentum here, as they are still finding themselves up 2 scores, and if they punch one in, they'll find themselves up nearly 3 here. 2nd and 2. Crossman with several backs surrounding him, only one receiver that's out on the line here. And now less than 6 minutes, and let's see what they do here. Crossman will head it off to Nevin Dent, and Dent will power his way in. Touchdown, Britons. Nevin Dent, the senior running back from Hephzibah, Georgia, and again, he's a very stocky running back, kind of reminding me of kind of the Eddie Lacy build here of 6'3", 240. Has a lot of strength there, kind of using that there on this whole drive, in fact, not just on that touchdown run, but just using him, just powering his way through all of that defenders. And Albion now, pending this extra point here, will likely be up 20 as the kick is up and indeed good. So the score now, Albion 34, Olivet 14 with 5:50 left to go in the second quarter. Eli, there's still a lot of time left to go in this game. Of course, a lot of points already being scored here, just with, we just have crossed the halfway point of this second quarter here, and already these teams have scored a combined 48 points. There's still a lot of time, but if you're Olivet now finding yourselves down almost 3 scores, what do you do here?
On the offensive side of the ball, you just got to clean it up. You've kind of had you've had good drives. They've put together good drives. We've seen them turn it over on 4th down 3 times today already. So they're not continuing to be able to punch it in the end zone. That last drive, they turned it over on downs inside their own 20-yard line. So you have to be able to finish drives and have long sustained drives that end in points. And for the defense, you just got to continue. You got to play. You should have to play better overall. Honestly, their tackling is not very good. A lot of arm tackling, and they have to stop the explosive plays. We've seen on 3 drives where it looks like Olivet was going to be able to get a stop, and they didn't because they gave up a big explosive play on 3rd and long.
Gurwinski now, another kick that will sail to the back of the end zone, and that will be now that we'll be setting up shop here. A solid field position with 5:50 left to go in this second quarter. Again, if you're just joining us, the score: Albion 34, Olivet 14. And looking at some stats here, despite the fact that the score doesn't look very even at this point, in terms of yards gained, it is pretty even. Albion only gaining 26 more yards than the Comets. So again, owing to what you've been saying, Eli. Olivet's offense has been producing and has been doing a really good job. It's just their defense that just can't match that level of perfection there. 1st and 10 on the 25 now. Danny Avila and company back out for the Comets. And Jalen Johnson rushing up the middle there. He'll get about 3 yards on the carry, and it will be 2nd down for Olivet.
Yeah, Johnson does a really good job of just putting his shoulder into people and falling forward on every single run. Very rarely do we see him get pushed backwards. He either gets stood up and they stop him, or he falls forward and gets an extra yard or two. So it's really good running by him today.
2nd and 7 on the 28, 5:15 left to go in the second quarter. Johnson now lining up as a receiver, and there will be a short pass right to Jalen Johnson, who has some room. He's still up as he crosses the 30, but he will only get maybe a yard or two more after that. So it will be 3rd and 2 coming up here for the Comets. Now with less than 5. But yeah, Jalen Johnson, in terms of his overall production, very impressive things we have seen today from that young man. He is already well over 100 yards rushing, which, as you have pointed out to, and yes, it is true, that is, at this point, at the end of this game, it may be double of what Olivet averages a game. If he keeps up this production, it will be double. 3rd and 2 now on the 33-yard line for 31 left to go in this second quarter. Avila dropping back, short pass complete to Wade Brashears, and that will be enough to move the chains here as he gets out of bounds after crossing the 40. And it will be first down for the Comets. Again, after some initial risk-taking here from Avila early on in the game, we're now kind of seeing a lot of these passing plays be a lot more conservative, a lot easier, but it's still proving to be resulting in steady motion here.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what the offense wants to do and what the offensive play caller likes.
And another pass there by Danny Avila, this time a little more risky, throwing almost in double coverage there with two of the linebackers for Albion, number 2 Zach Berry and number 13 Adam Mills, the team leader in tackles there, to prevent a completion there across the middle, kind of on a slant route almost. 2nd and 10 now on the 40 for the Comets.
Yeah, I thought he had Rudd up top on the opposite side of the field for at least a good pickup, but he didn't take anything over there.
Johnson will be running now on the near side. Again, not always running up the middle, which is refreshing to see for if you're a Comet fan paying attention to that. And that will be a gain of about 4 on the carry. So it's going to set up 3rd and 6 with 3:40 left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff of Olivet thinks that they have a mismatch with Jalen Johnson and the linebackers of the defense for Albion, and they're really attacking that today extremely hard, and so far Johnson is winning most of those matchups.
Avila this time on his 3rd and 6 steps back to pass, and it's complete to Rashawn Mercier, who tries to get a couple additional yards after catch, and it will result in a Comet first down, and also they will be getting into enemy territory as Mercier was down at the 46-yard line of Albion. So with 3 minutes left to go, Olivet's still trudging forward and hoping to get, a score before the half. We'll see if they do that.
Yeah, absolutely. They have to punch this in the end zone here. You cannot come up empty here, and even a field goal might not be enough at this point in the game. So they got to continue to work this down the field.
Avila dropping back to pass. This time he's going to air it out. Intended for Rashawn Mercier. Just again, another pass that was just a little too overpowered. And because Rashawn Mercier kind of beat his man in coverage there. Kind of beat Zach Berry in coverage. But regardless, it will be second down and 10 to go for the Comets.
Yeah, Mercier there had to step on his DB, but Avila just wasn't able to put it right on him, a little too far out in front of him. So still struggling to kind of connect on the deep ball right there. So I'm sure they'll go back to the short pass, quick passes with Avila. They've had a lot of success with today, or the runs to the outside with Johnson.
2nd and 10. Avila again dropping back to pass, and he will again complete to Rashawn Mercier, and he's still going. Mercier did not get tackled at all amongst, when he first caught the ball. Had some additional room, and he will get a lot more yards than was once thought. And he will get a Comet first down that will extend all the way just before the red zone here, so just before that 20-yard line. That's exactly the kind of passing plays you want if you're Olivet, and again, they're making steady progress, but it's not about how you start, Eli. It's about how you finish.
Absolutely, and this drive has to finish in points here. But really good job there by Mercier, evading the tackler and picking up quite a few extra yards for the receiver.
Vila 1st and 10 on the 20. He'll drop back to pass again, firing across the middle. Good to Carter Leatherwood. Leatherwood is still going. Can he get to the end zone? Yes, he will. Touchdown, Olivet, the freshman, Carter Leatherwood. You see him on the returns, but over the past few games, he's been a little more involved with the actual in-game receiving core, and this time extending his body across the goal line to get that score. He caught the ball at around the 5, and he just tried to get every yard he could, and it was enough. And Olivet now with their third score of the game, exactly the kind of thing they needed before this half. And now it will be 2-minute timeout before this extra point. And Eli, what'd you see there?
Really good job there by Carter Leatherwood. We haven't really seen him much today catching the ball. I believe that was his first catch of the day. But we see him a lot in special teams, and he is an electric receiver. He's only a freshman, so they try to get him more involved. I think he is another bright spot of this receiving core. And right there, you said he caught the ball to 5. He got popped by a defender, and he just took the hit and reversed and went the opposite way and was able to get it in the end zone. So just really good running after the catch by him, and a lot of good plays so far by the receiver, as it looks like Carter Leatherwood is going to be hobbling over to the medical area over here to get something checked out.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, again, if he with getting popped after that play, as you said, it's definitely not a surprise. We'll have to see what this will result in. But this, still with the fact that play crossed past the 2-minute mark, this is still 2-minute timeout here for the Comets and the Britons. Again, the score before any extra point or conversions are made, or attempted, I should say. Albion 34, Olivet 20. Again, Olivet trying to even up the score a little bit after Albion's offensive momentum is trying to power them through, and they will, instead of going for the extra point as they were initially planning to, they will go for a 2-point conversion here. Again, maybe owing to some of that aggressive behavior and some of that aggressive play style here. Ray Brashears being set in motion. Avila looking for Brashears to send, reverses field. Catch is good. Intended for Julian Toscano, who was on a 1v1 with a man on the coverage there with Ryan Davis, one of the leading linebackers. And Toscano rises above him, grabs the ball. What a catch there by the tight end, and that will be a completed 2-point conversion. Now the score, Albion 34, Olivet 22.
Phenomenal catch there by Toscano. A little interesting thing they did there, they sent the receiver in motion, but they also sent Jelani Harbor, the left tackle, in motion, so he went over to the right side, kind of give some confusion and give a different look to the defense that they haven't seen all day. But that was just a really good throw by Danny Avila, kind of putting it up there where either Toscano caught it or no one caught it, and Toscano was able to rise, climb up the ladder, and come down with a catch there. So really good job, great job by the offense of getting some points right before the half, and now the defense has to get a stop. They can't allow Albion to extend their lead right before half.
Exactly. And I think it is effective to put Harbor in motion there. Of course, Johnny Harbor's, in terms of his stature on the line, 6'5", 315, just an absolute monster on that offensive line. So wise choice there. There's a short kick by Angel Potter, and the return man on that play for Albion, which was number 39, Logan Dorr, a freshman linebacker from Mason. He, with a very wise decision there, motions for a fair catch. So, at that point, there's no way for Olivet to even think or even legally get the ball there. I think I saw that maybe a couple weeks ago in a D1 game where on like an onside kick, somebody motioned for a fair catch, and when the kicking team went for it, when they went for the ball, they got a penalty, and it worked out very well. So it's kind of an interesting thing to see there for Albion, I should say.
Yeah, really good job there by signaling for that fair catch. Olivet's coaching staff they're trying to either steal possession or they're seeing some weakness in the return team there, because they continue to just kind of do these pop-up kickoffs.
Crossman fakes the handoff on this first and 10 on the 42. Again, another completed pass to Dylan Dennison, and he will, I believe, cross the 50 there. Not enough for the first down, but it will be 2nd and 1. Or actually, they will motion for the first down. So some confusion on the sideline there. It looks like they were just trying to see if he got there or not. He did. So never mind that, and that's my mistake. 1st and 10 on the 47. Albion wasting no time to get set up here with 1:47 left to go on this clock. Crossman fake the handoff again. He's going to go deep, and look who it is attending for the attended receiver. Of course, it would have been number 15, Braden Fracassi. It was a tad bit overthrown, so incomplete, but oh man, once I saw that intended receiver, I was like, oh, it could be touchdown number 4 for Fracassi, the junior receiver, but just a tad overthrown there.
Yeah, Fracassi having an absolute day for himself, but the ball was just a little overthrown there by Crossman. So a break there for the defense of Olivet, because they had him beat there. So they got to get a stop here and can't give up more points.
The ball now handed off here to Tayshawn Nichols after a big hit there. After some motion there, he will get close to that first down marker. I'll have to see if he gets there or not. We don't think he did, and he won't. So it will be 3rd and short coming up here for the Britons.
Yeah, a little hurdle action there. Was able to pick up an extra yard or two after Nichols rose up and was able to hurdle over the defender.
Crossman will hand it off to Tayshawn Nichols. Again, Nichols will get the first down and a lot more. He's still going as he will finally get down to around the 25 with now 1 minute and 4 seconds left to go in this first half. Again, the score, if you're just joining us, Albion 34, Olivet 22, as again, Albion wasting no time here, already set up with 1 minute left to go. 1st and 10 on the 25. Crossman handing off again to Nichols. Nichols trying to get some gaps, and he finds one. He crosses the 20 and the 15, actually. It gets down to around the 13. So again, they're just moving the chains, and with only 51 seconds, there looks like a real possibility where they may get a score before the half.
Yeah, it definitely is. They still have 3 timeouts left to use as well, so they got a lot of room here. They can still run it if they need, because with those 3 timeouts.
Crossman faking the handoff this time, firing a quick pass, completed a one-handed grab by Connor Davey, the tight end, and he will get almost to the goal line there. I think he was down at the 1. But that was a heck of a grab there by the tight end, the junior tight end from New Hudson, Michigan. And it will be timeout by the Comets. Both teams had 3 timeouts. This time Olivet will take one of theirs. And it's going to be an awfully close to the goal line play coming up here from Albion. And if you're Olivet, a stop here is crucial.
Yeah, a stop here is absolutely crucial. You cannot give up more points here. You're behind already by a couple touchdowns. You got to continue to pick it up and play better football here. You know, the defense has really struggled today to continue to stop the pass or the run. Albion, if they wanted, could have 2 more touchdowns on the deep ball, but they just haven't been able to capitalize on those. So defensively wise, there's a lot they have to work on. Offensively wise, they're looking pretty good, but the defense here has got to get a stop. If they can get a stop, that absolutely change the momentum of the team and put momentum on Olivet's side, especially because they are receiving the second half kick.
Indeed. First and goal on the 1. Crossman, 35 seconds left to go. Hands it off to Tayshawn Nichols. Does he get there? We'll have to see. Looks like there was some initial stop by the Comet defense. He will not get there. And it will be a gain of nothing. So it'll just be 2nd and goal on the 1. Olivet taking another timeout here. And Austin Straub and Javon Peterson, 2 experienced players on the defense. Austin Straub being the only captain on the team that's on the defensive line with the stop there. And now Olivet has 3 more chances to try to stop Albion from getting 1 more score before the half. Let's see if they do it. And they're definitely taking some time to talk about strategy here in these timeouts that they have.
Yeah, really good job there by Austin Straub, just standing up his offensive lineman and being able to not allowing the running back to go anywhere. So defensive line picking it up here, but they got to continue to pick it up and play better overall. If they can get a stop here, that'd be crucial, or even maybe get the ball back to your offense and allow them to get a field goal or some sort of points before half.
2nd and goal on the 1, 28 seconds left to go. Crossman with Nichols at his hip. Nichols will get the ball again, and this time he's in. Touchdown, Albion. And Albion now crossing the 40, getting to that 40-point threshold, and with an extra point or conversion, they will, if they make it, get across that threshold. And now we'll see what they do here, but with 24 seconds left to go, that could still make something happen, but of course, it won't necessarily matter regardless. As you mentioned, Eli, they will be getting the ball to start the second half, which in this position that they're in is very helpful, because whether they actually have the momentum heading into the half or not, they still get to start that half and get to kind of dictate the momentum there to start it. As that kick is up and good from Logan Gurwinski. So now the score is Albion 41, Olivet 22. 24 seconds left to go in this first half. And with the limited time that they have, Eli, what do the Comets need to do in order to ensure that they could get in good position to get a score? How aggressive do they need to be?
You don't want to be too aggressive, because there is still 30 seconds left, and if you were to be super aggressive and turn the ball over, Albion does have 3 timeouts left to use. So I think maybe kind of look for a play down the field. If you don't have it, take something underneath, or kind of run to the outside and try to hope that it's a big run. And if it is a big run, get more aggressive and look to put it in the end zone. And if it's not, kind of just take it into the second half. But you definitely can't have any turnovers here if you're Olivet. And Albion, just a phenomenal job there by them of a 2-minute offense. There were no huddles. They were automatically straight to the line. They didn't use a single one of their timeouts, and they scored in about, I believe, less than a minute. So just really good job by them in a 2-minute offense.
Well, in terms of the amount of time the Comets have, that kick from Logan Gurwinski will help them as it sails to the back of the end zone again, and they will have no time wasted out, following, that would have been if they had returned it. So instead, it's going to be with 24 seconds left to go. The ball will be on the Olivet 25, and they have 24 seconds left to make something happen in this half. Let's see what they do. First and 10 on the 25. 4 receivers out for Avila. Jalen Johnson behind him. And waiting to snap here, and he will look to pass. Avila will go a quick pass first. This time completed to Noah Bates. And there is a flag thrown. We haven't seen a lot of penalties so far in this game, which, I think for all fans is refreshing to see. But after that Bates reception, which would have gotten very close if not had gotten to that first down marker, we have a flag on the play.
Looks like it's going to be holding.
It will, in fact, be holding on the Olivet offense, so they will be moved even farther back. And definitely not what you want, especially after that reception from Bates being completely wiped off the board. So now there will be a 1st and 20 coming up here for the Comets. 18 seconds left to go. They're going to start on the 15. And again, being moved even farther back and just not looking as good as it did in terms of them trying to get downfield. But let's see what they do here. Okay, they've had explosive plays so far in this game. Let's see if they can have another one. 18 seconds. Avila will this time hand it off to Jalen Johnson. Johnson will be wrapped up after a gain of about 4 on the carry. So it'll be 2nd and long coming up for the Comets with 7 seconds left. And with the clock still ticking, it looks like they're just going to let the clock run. And that will actually be the first half. The score, Albion 41, Olivet 22. As both teams will head to the locker room here, and we'll be awaiting stats for the halftime. And as the Comets, as the marching Comets get set to take the field, and which we will take a break for in about a minute or two. Eli, really quick before we go on break, so what are some of your quick takeaways?
I think right there on that drive, Olivet definitely wanted to try to push it down the field vertically, but they got a holding call right away, so kind of ended that. Then they just ran out the rest of the clock. But if you're Olivet here, you're receiving the second half kick, you got to turn that into points right away. So just continuing to build off of what your offense has done today. Your offense has done a really good job so far in this game, but your defense has struggled immensely. Time and time again, they struggled to limit the explosive plays. They've struggled to stop the run and the pass, and just they've struggled to get off the field on third down. So in the second half, I'll be looking for them to get stops on third down and fourth down and get the ball back to their offense.
Indeed here, and as the Marching Comets get set, of course, led by senior drum major Ian Helzer, they will get set to take the fields here, and especially, and if you're watching on that live stream, you'll be able to listen to that performance. But of course, for those listening over WOCR 89.1 The One, enjoy some music here for the next 10 or
Please welcome to the field your 2025 Marching Comets. Today, the Marching Comets invite you to join them in a historical look at Detroit's own Motown sound. In the 1960s, the Motown record label developed a style of soul music with a mainstream pop influence which propelled it to the top of the charts. We start our show with some of the most iconic groups of the Motown era: the Temptations, Martha and the Vandellas, the Supremes, and the Four Tops. Please welcome drum major Ian Helzer as he leads the band through the early years of the legendary sound of Motown. The Jackson Five was signed to Motown Records from 1969 to 1975, and during this time they achieved huge success and became one of the label's most popular groups. Today we present three of their greatest hits: I'll Be There, I Want You Back, and ABC, featuring trumpet soloist Sophie Lisinski. Stevie Wonder is one of the most prominent artists associated with Motown Records. He signed with Motown at the age of 11, initially performing under the name Little Stevie Wonder. Today, the Marching Comets are pleased to present two of his timeless hits, Sir Duke and Superstition, featuring flute soloist Abby Kruger. We close today's show with what Rolling Stone called the greatest Motown song of all time. Originally recorded by the Miracles in 1965, our rendition of Tracks of My Tears will feature trumpet soloist Sophie Lisinski. Let's make some noise for the Marching Comets. The Marching Comets are under the field direction of Ian Helser and under direction of Mr. Evan Lewis. Color guard was designed and instructed by Shar Reeves. Percussion composed and instructed by Brendan Betton. Thank you to the University of Olivet community for your continued support of the Marching Comets. One more time, give it up for the Marching Comets.
Who's calling it? Who's calling it? Who's calling it?
You're listening to the University of Olivet's official DJ, DJ Take. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Take 5.
Is it Stacy? Is it Becky? Is it Keisha? Is it Becky? What's it gotta be? Is it Carnegie? What's the function? Where the function? Where the function? The way I feel right now, I feel like we need to be all alone. So if you just playing around, you need to tell your real. Stop teasing me. Stop teasing me. I could change your life so easily. I keep begging you to stay, but you're leaving me. Leaving me. We got sticks to the club illegally. Got that whole 6 side, they believe in me. We got members east to the DVD. We got members west on 401. We got a lock on that, but there's more to come. You gotta pop that until the morning come. You want shots for the girl, then order some. Who's calling it? Who's calling it? Who's calling it? Who's calling it? Who? Hey. Is it Stacy? Is it Becky? Is it Keisha? Is it Ashley? Oh no. See you walking around like it's a funeral. So serious, you are the sequel. We just getting started, don't you tiptoe, tiptoe. Waste time with the masterpiece, waste time with the masterpiece. You should be rolling me, you should be rolling me. Live a real life fantasy, live a real life fantasy. But you're moving so carefully, let's start living dangerously. Talk to me, baby. I'm rolling up the fantasy, baby. Let's move on to go, crazy, crazy. Keep on hoping with me, take by the ocean. Talk to me, baby. I'll be giving you, be my only one. Let's move on to go, crazy, crazy. Keep on hoping with me, take by the ocean. See you like it comes on your phone. One another day, I'm letting dancing. I'm trying to roll it steady on the top. Keep your hands clapped. Say I keep your hands clapped. Somebody sing your song, you've been singing in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me and luxury, my sugar and gold. I want your sex and your affection when they're holding you close. You don't even know. I can make your hands clap. Say I can make your hands clap. Every night when the stars come out, am I the only living soul around? Need to believe you could hold me down, 'cause I've been needing something good right now. We could be dreaming till the sun comes out, and when we wake we be the only sound. Get on my knees and take a breath, take it down. But I can make your hands clap. Let's go. No excuses now. I'm talking here and now. I'm talking here and now. Let's go. Your time is running now. I'm talking here and now. I'm talking here and now. It's not about what you've done, it's about what you're doing. It's all about where you're going, no matter where you've been.
opponent has really been outgaining them considerably. But this time it's literally only a difference of 4. And another thing I want to give the Comets credit for as well, before I'll pass it off to you for some more notes, Eli, is they really haven't turned the ball over at all. They have had a turnover, maybe a turnover on downs or two, occasionally. Obviously that is a turnover still, but at the same time, they haven't had any fumbles, haven't had any interceptions. They've played a clean offensive game. It's just their defense really needs to kind of get in lockstep as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The offense has had a pretty good game. Danny Avila has done well of taking care of the ball. He's had good command over the huddle and the entire offense so far. So he's looking pretty good in this game so far. But the defense just has struggled immensely for Olivet, and Danny Avila, he's 11 for 20 right now with 119 yards and 1 touchdown. He has not been sacked at all yet, so that's really good for them. The offensive line is doing better. They're doing a lot better job of creating lanes for the running back, opening up areas for Jalen Johnson to run, and their average yards per game on the ground this year, I believe, is around 60, and right now Jalen Johnson already has 152 total yards and 2 touchdowns. So they've really opened up the run game today, doing a lot better job in that. The offense has looked good pretty much overall. They just have to continue to sustain drives. They've turned the ball over on downs twice so far. They're only 1 for 3 on 4th down conversions, and they're 3 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. So they got to continue to get first downs, continue to move the ball. They are ahead in time of possession with 17 minutes, and Albion has 13 minutes. So that's definitely a key factor. And for the defense, they gotta continue to play disciplined ball. They have to tackle a lot better, and they have to get off the field on 3rd downs. They've gotten Albion into multiple 3rd downs, even 4th downs, but Albion is 2 for 2 on 4th down, and every time they get them in a 2nd or 3rd and long, Albion is just able to get a huge explosive play. And that's another thing that Olivet needs to do, is limit the explosive plays. They've given up explosive play one after another all game long. So they got to figure that out. And for Albion, your offense, honestly, you've had a phenomenal game. We've seen the receivers be very active. We've seen the hat trick by Braden Fischier, and he's had a really good game so far. So just continue to get him involved, get your other receivers involved more as well. Your leading receiver, Cameron Moore, he's had to be more involved. Continue to push the field. Continue to push the ball down the field, especially in the run game, as they try to run out this clock and win the game. Defensively, for the Britons, you just got to stiffen up, get a couple more stops, and stop the quick passes from Olivet, because that's what they've leaned on all game so far.
A lot of good points there, Eli, and yes, exactly. That is exactly a lot of those things that they really need to work on. But a lot of career games, I think, so far for both teams. Jalen Johnson, as you mentioned, over 150 yards rushing, and that's just in the first half. That is insane. And if you've watched how the Comets play throughout the year, you probably would have never really thought that was possible, but it certainly is, and he's doing a very good job, probably the best he's done in his entire career. He's just a freshman, but still. As the kickoff now up and away, as it will be once again sailing out in the back of the end zone, and the Comets will be at the 25-yard line to start their first second-half drive. But also, of course, Braden Fracassi, 3 touchdowns in 3 different ways, 1 rushing, 1 receiving, and 1 on a punt return. Every single time he has touched the ball, he has gotten into the end zone, which is just insane to think about. We'll have to see if that production will continue when the next time Albion gets the ball. But before Olivet and company set up shop here, there actually will also be an offsides by Albion. So the Comets will actually be moved up 5 yards, so they will actually start at the 30. But I want to mention this one thing. Olivet has not defeated the Britons since 2017, and that was even a season where they won 5 games, so definitely a more of a better season then. But that was a 47-26 win in 2017. They have lost every single matchup since then. Noah Bates being set in motion for this first and 10 on the 30. Jalen Johnson running up the middle, has some room, but not enough to get that first down. He'll be taken down at around the 38-yard line, and it will be setting up a second and short here for the Comets.
Yeah, good job by the offensive line. At the point of attack on the defensive line, they were able to move their guys. They were able to accomplish their double teams, which allowed them to get up to the second level, which is kind of something that they've struggled with all year. So that's probably why the run game has been so successful, is the offensive linemen are getting up and blocking those linebackers.
Indeed. Second and 2. Avila stepping back, pressure coming, flag being thrown, but he's taking himself, and he has a fair amount of room running up the far sideline. He slides just before getting to the 50-yard line. But yeah, right as he started running, there was a flag thrown. So I'll have to see what that is. Eli, did you see anything there?
It's probably going to be holding kind of in that area. And it kind of happened as Avila was starting to run out of the pocket. So a lot of times when the quarterback runs out of the pocket, offensive linemen tend to get a little handsy and get a hold of the jersey. So we'll see what they do here, what the call is.
It will be hands to the face on the Britons. So again, to start the second half, Albion with 2 consecutive penalties in a game that has really actually been relatively clean. I believe, if I'm looking at the stat sheet from the first half, Albion's only had 1 penalty, in that first half, and now they're already up to 3. And now Olivet, because of that, are now in enemy territory. So a fantastic start for the Comets here, and we'll have to see how they will capitalize on these Britain mishaps. First and 10 on the 38 of Albion. Avila will hand it off to Jalen Johnson. And Johnson almost breaks free and just gets tripped up as he crosses the 30. If he hadn't got tripped up, he probably would have gotten some more yards on that one. But regardless, a very solid game there by Jalen Johnson, and he's just racking up the rushing yards in this game. Again, as we mentioned, he's well over 150. He's probably getting close to around 160 now as we send up for the second and 2.
Olivet's had a lot of success today pulling their offensive guards. Number 55, Marcus Davis, he's been doing it a lot, so I'm sure they'll continue to do that today.
Johnson breaks a tackle on this rush, but doesn't get anywhere outside of that. He tried to bounce outside to the near side because of the Olivet sideline, or our sideline, because, we're in the press box here. So gain of nothing there, and now it's going to be third and 2. But I'm glad you mentioned the offensive line because, there haven't been a ton of glaring holes in the Olivet offense, but if there had to be one, it would be the Olivet offensive line, especially since, we've seen in games previous where we've seen either Charlie Grant or Daniel Avila not have a lot of time to throw, and that's resulted in a lot of key mistakes. On this third and 2, Avila fires, and it's complete to Noah Bates, and he'll be pushed out of bounds at around the 20-yard line, so that'll definitely be enough for the Comet first down as the chains are moving, and Olivet getting into the red zone there, and they're inching closer and closer to getting another score, which would definitely be of benefit here, and and this is exactly why it's good that they started the half with the ball, Eli.
Definitely. I really like how Olivet is attacking the secondary right now because they're sitting back. They're not running press. They're about 5 yards away from the receiver, so he was just able to run a little out route there, and the DB wasn't able to get up to him before he got that first down.
Avila handing it off to Jalen Johnson, and he will get to the 15-yard line before being brought down. Again, we kind of saw earlier in the season a rotation of running backs, actually. We kind of saw Jalen Johnson also paired with Dorian Freeman, Ramel Frank. We have not seen any other runners aside from Danny Avila on kind of the QB keeps. Jalen Johnson now with that run inching closer to 170. Actually, he is at 173 yards, so a dominant performance by him today. And this time Avila will take the handoff, and he has a lot of room on the 2nd and 5, and Avila will just walk in. Touchdown, Olivet. He fooled that entire defense. As, again, they're just trying to look for Jalen Johnson to take it up the middle or go to the far side. Avila this time just a complete misdirection, and he will get a rushing touchdown there. I think probably one of the first of the season for him. And Olivet kind of, again, evening up the score there. And it also looks like they're going to try for another 2-point conversion here to try to get this as close to a 10-point deficit as they can. Let's see what they do here with 11:39 left to go in this third quarter. Again, this was a drive that did not last very long, which to the Comets' benefit is good for them. Avila tries to take it himself, but the play is whistled dead, and it looks like a flag. Either a flag on the play or just a stoppage of time, regardless.
There's going to be a flag. It's probably a false start.
It'll be false start on the Comets. So they will have to replay the conversion, being 5 yards back after that false start again. That's just the kind of mistakes you just can't have, Eli.
Yeah, definitely can't have that when you're trying to go for two. You put yourself in a longer 2-point conversion here. But I really like that play call by the offensive coaching staff on that touchdown. You were talking about Johnson. He's been having a good game, but Danny Avila is a good runner as well, which I think is something that he adds that Charlie Grant just really doesn't add.
Avila now will this time take it himself. Owing to what you just said, he makes a man miss and he goes in for the 2-point conversion. And exactly kind of what you just said, and it just played out right in front of our eyes here. Danny Avila is more of a dual threat. He has a lot more athleticism laterally, getting the ball down the field, using his legs to do that. Meaning that in terms of an overall offensive skill set, he has a lot more offer just all around. Charlie Grant has a heck of an arm. He is also quite accurate. The problem is that he is, as I've heard some other football players say, he's quite slow, just athletically. So it's, for Olivet, having a QB of the future that has a developing arm, but also has the ability to also make some plays happen on the ground. That's very important to have. And if they keep Avila as the starter long term, which I believe they will do with Grant graduating this year, they'll have that for 2 more seasons at max.
Yeah, Avila did a really good job of there. He didn't have anything open anywhere, so he just took off, made a guy miss on the tackle, and was just able to get it in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So just really important that he is doing a really good job today.
The kick from Owen Pfeiffer this time, subbing in for Angel Potter, is up and away. And Jalen Johnson, on the return there. Again, that's the transfer from Olivet, former wide receiver for the Comets, now playing for the Britons. And he will take that all the way to the 45-yard line of Albion. So they're very close into enemy territory here. And if you're Albion, you just got to keep it going. You can't let your foot off the gas. And they also seem to be having some defensive struggles of their own. But if they want to keep this in true shootout territory, you got to keep your foot on the gas on the offensive end.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to keep your foot on the gas. Got to keep moving the ball downfield and keep leaning on that defense of Olivet. For Olivet here, got to get a stop here if you want to start chipping back into this game.
11:31 left to go. Crossman fakes the handoff, fires it, and that's incomplete. Intended right there for number 18, Cameron Moore. Solid coverage there on that play. Kind of a team up there defensively between Bakari Fields and Christian McMillan, two of the defensive backs for the Comets. And right there, that secondary, which has been known to be probably the biggest weak spot on this Olivet roster, showed up on that play.
Yeah, really good job getting the hands on the ball by Christian McMillan and deflecting that pass.
And now on the run, Tayshawn Nichols on the 2nd and 10. He tries to make something work on the far side, but it takes a while to get him down. Luckily for the defense of the Comets, it's not a huge gain. It's about maybe 3 or 4 yards, and already Albion with a 3rd down.
Yeah, so we talked about this all day so far. Olivet has been able to get Albion a decent amount of times into 3rd down, but every time they've been in 3rd down, it seems like Albion has just been able to get the ball downfield for a big explosive play. So right here, crucial for the defense to not give up an explosive play, to not give up a big play at all. Just really good job by the defense so far.
3rd and 7 on the 48-yard line. Crossman fires, pass is complete, and it will in fact be another conversion on 3rd down for the Britons, as a short pass fired, and it will be complete to Cameron Moore again. So it will be enough to move the chains for the 1st down, and you can hear the defensive coaching staff for Olivet absolutely outraged by what transpired there on that play. And as you were saying, Eli, it may not have been an explosive play, but it was at least one enough to move the chains for the Brits. 1st and 10 on the 42, 10-10 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Score is still the same. For Albion 41, Olivet 30. Crossman firing again. It's another complete pass. This time completed to Dylan Dennison, the fifth-year receiver, as he gets down not after crossing the 30. Again, enough to move the chains for the Brits. 1st and 10.
Yeah, on that last play before, it looked like there was some confusion by the defense and what the coaching staff wanted. It looked like Bakari Fields wasn't quite sure what his assignment was, and on that play right there, kind of just a mismatch that it looks like Albion really wants to attack is their tight end on the linebackers.
1st and 10 on the 29, 9:28 left to go in this third quarter. Crossman fakes the handoff, fires again across the field. It's no good. It was intended right there for Jalen Johnson, but it was number 1 versus number 1 as Aaron McCray, the defensive back for Olivet, was on coverage there and did not let anything happen there. So solid coverage. Now 2nd down.
Yeah, there's really good coverage there by McCray. Wasn't giving the receiver any room to work at all. Kind of didn't really have any room to catch the ball either, and he got his hands in there really well. So got to get a stop here. If you're Olivet, don't give up a big play on 2nd down.
2nd and 10. They'll pitch it to Tayshawn Nichols, who tries to make something work on the far side, but this time it's a big Olivet stop as it looks to be a loss of 4 or 5 on the play. But we have an injury timeout being taken as we have an injured Comet down on the field. And trainers rushing over to attend to him. And we'll have to, see who that is. But in the meantime, again, a big stop there from the Comets as, with no flag on the play. It looks to be a 3rd and 14 coming up as the trainers continue to attend to the fallen Comet.
Yeah, really good job there of getting in the backfield immediately by the defensive line. We've seen them in the backfield a lot today, but when they get in the backfield, they've struggled to get the offensive player down for a tackle for a loss. So really good job there by them of getting the running back to the ground, not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage and getting a TFL. So kind of something that they've struggled with today. Better tackling is something that I've stressed all year, and especially in this game. So we'll see if they can continue to tackle better as the player is going to be up and jogging off the field. Looks like there might be something with the upper body. Not sure exactly who that is right now.
And the important thing is that he is up and walking to the sideline. I believe that was number 2, Bakari Fields, and it will be indeed, as he, good news is that he is walking, and he hopefully will be okay here. The entire Olivet sideline was on one knee while he was being attended to. Play is resuming now with 9 minutes left to go. Crossman takes the handoff on this 3rd and 14. And they will not have enough for that 4th down, but will still get to the 25. Again, another reception to Dylan Dennison, really making things work here for the Britons. It will be a 4th and 7 coming up or actually 4th and 8, for the Britons. So they still have a ways to go, but let's see what they do here.
Looks like they're going to kick a field goal.
It looks like they're going to kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Olivet's defense a little confused here. And they will be kicking here. Logan Gerwinski, again, some points will be better than none on this drive. So be out from a ways here. And they're lining up. The kick is up and it is good. Logan Gerwinski using his leg, and it will be free for the Britons. And, D3 at least, we don't necessarily see a lot of field goals. And we've, especially watching the Comets all season, haven't really seen Angel Potter kick many. He's only made 1 this entire season. He's only attempted 2. So with that, good extra point from Logan Gerwinski. I'm going to check the distance on that kick.
It looked like it was about a 45-yarder.
It was a 45 exactly, so good math there. It'll be 44-30 now the score for Albion, and now Olivet is exactly down 2 scores, which, it'll be up to them to, with 10 left to go, so still a fair amount of time. They need to stay on point on offense, but also continue to try to limit the Britons on defense.
Yeah, if you're the defense of Olivet, you're happy with that outcome. You only gave up a field goal. That's your first real kind of stop on the offense today. So really good job there by them of getting that stop. And the kicker there, that was for Division III. That was a phenomenal kick. It was about a 45-yarder. That probably would have been good from about 55 yards at least, because he had a lot left on that.
And you could see Gorlinski's also the punter, and you could see him just continually, he's sailing these balls out of bounds, just letting it fly. So clearly has the leg to make something happen, and we saw him on that field goal again, that as you mentioned, and because I was not sure about the distance, but you accurately predicted that it was indeed a 45-yarder on the dot. So now with 8:10 left to go, Olivet will set up shop here on the 25-yard line.
There's a flag down.
But there is a flag down.
Probably going to be unnecessary roughness or a late hit, one of the two, on Olivet.
It will be unnecessary roughness on the Comets, and it will move them back a ways. They will be moved back to, it looks like, the 13-yard line. And that's exactly where they will set up shop. Yeah, hard to see the flag sometimes, especially when they pick it up so quickly.
Yeah.
8:10 left to go. First and 10 on the 13.
That was just completely unnecessary, kind of a little after giving a shove to one of the Albion Brits.
And as Avila will hand the ball to Jalen Johnson, the Albion defense will stop him dead in his tracks there. He'll gain a gain of about 2 yards on that carry, but won't go much elsewhere after that, and it will be second down.
Yeah, I definitely want to put together a drive here. If you're a Comets, got to get something going, get some consistency. Your last drive was really well put together, a lot of mixing and matching the run, a lot of stretching out sideline to sideline. So I want to continue to see more of that from the offense.
Second and 9, 7:32 left to go in this third quarter. Avila stepping back to pass. Has some time. Protection from the O-line being key there. But eventually that will result in an incompleted pass intended for Rashawn Mercier, as Avila, after some initial production, was hit as he was thrown. Threw as he was hit, I should say. Excuse me there. Resulting now in a third down coming up for the Comets.
Yeah, Danny Avila just didn't have anything going on downfield. It looks like he might have had a chance to kind of dump it off to his running back right away or take off for it, but he kind of held onto the ball for too long. So it just ended in incompletion. Good job of getting rid of the ball, though, and not creating a sack. So crucial third down here.
Third and 9 on the 14. Avila stepping back to pass again. He'll fire a short pass to Jalen Johnson, but he won't have enough. He'll get a gain closer to the 20. But he will not get close to the first down marker. So Olivet now bringing out the punting unit, Ace and Hawks, coming up here again. And with 7:05 left to go and counting, Olivet will be kicking off. And if, paying attention to this game, look who's out to return. It's number 15, Braden Fracassi. Again, every single time he has touched the football, it has resulted in a touchdown. Immediately there's a flag on the play, as it will roll all the way to the 46-yard line. But yeah, a flag immediately thrown. And let's see what this is going to be. Eli, did you see anything there?
I didn't see anything exactly. It was right away, though, so it might be offsides or a false start, probably what the indication is. And if it is a offsides by the defense, that might be enough for a first down. So definitely a crucial call here, what they get.
And refs still talking about it here as both teams return to their sidelines. The ball was initially rolled to the 46, and it will be offsides. It will be offsides on the defense there, and it will be on Albion, so it will affect their drive here. Well, actually, it will, because of the fact that it was offsides, it actually will bring back the Olivet offense. So a big blown opportunity there by the Britons, as Olivet will just get a first down here. And on the 23-yard line, their drive has come alive again. Let's see what they do here. Avila will hand it off to Jalen Johnson, and he will be stopped, and we'll get a gain of about 1 or 2. Second down.
Yeah, just some undisciplined football right there with that flag. You just can't have that. Instead of getting the ball around the 50. You're giving the ball back to the offense and allowing them to have another chance to take it down and cut into this deficit right now. So you just can't have that, and if you're out of that, you got to turn that into some sort of points.
Indeed you do. 2nd and 8 on the 25. Johnson will get the ball again. Again, trying to run up the middle, but again, kind of more of what we have seen. It just isn't going anywhere, and it'll be another 3rd down for the Comets.
Yeah, not having a lot of success right now with the run. I kind of want to see more of the pitches towards the outside. They've had a lot of success with that today, so I'm sure we'll see more of that later. But right now on this 3rd and long, probably going to be a pass here.
And they are wasting no time getting set up either. But they are taking their time after doing so, maybe trying to get some defenders off guard here for the Brits. 3rd and 7, and Avila dropping back. He will look to pass. Pressure is coming. He jumps it off to Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson has some room to run, but he is tripped up by Adam Mills, who, again, the leading tackler there for the Britons, is just making a huge difference, not just in this game, but all season. He has 10 tackles, I believe, and that was actually, before that play, so he'll have 11. And, again, he had 89 heading into this game, so it is very possible that he will, actually, if it was his 11th tackle, that will be his 100th tackle of the season, which is just insane to think about. 4:50 now left to go in this 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 on the 38 after that pass. Jalen Johnson will get the ball again, trying to find some room up the middle, but he's tripped up pretty early. And he will get to around the 42-yard line, and there will be a 2nd down coming up for the Comets. Even on the passing plays, we're just seeing a lot of Jalen Johnson, and actually for the first time, I believe, all game, Jalen Johnson is actually being taken out of the game, and there will be no back for this next play, Eli.
Yeah, gotta give him a break every so often. I wonder if Dorian Freeman is hurt. It looks like I've been looking. I haven't seen his number, and it looks like I see him in street clothes on the sideline.
Something definitely to monitor there, as a screen pass to Rashawn Mercier does not go anywhere, as Albion was able to stuff that one out pretty quickly. So we'll be 3rd down for the Comets. Still have a couple more opportunities to get past that 1st down marker. Jalen Johnson now coming back into the game after that, after going 5 wide on that one. Let's see what they do here. 3rd and 5 on the 43. 3:41 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Score still the same, 44-30, Albion leading. Avila with 3 receivers on his right, 1 to his left, and Jalen Johnson behind him. As the clock is still ticking, and there's a flag thrown. And it looks to be on the Comets, as Albion looking pretty happy about that one.
Yeah, it looks like it can be a false start, probably on Jelani Harbor. Yeah, he was getting a little antsy there, sitting in his stance for too long. Often the coaching staff wanted to change the play, it looked like, and he just kind of thought they were ready to go, so he just wasn't waiting any longer.
Indeed. And now it's moved back all the way to a 3rd and 10 on the 38 with 3:14 left to go. A longer 3rd down situation for the Comets here. Avila, pressure coming, escapes the pocket, and he throws, and it's almost intercepted. It was almost Adam Mills again on that play. He had the ball in his hands, he just dropped it. And a very, very lucky situation there by the Comets. And again, as we kind of talked about earlier, the offensive line for Olivet for the most part has been decent, but on those plays where the pressure just almost immediately collapses, it affects Avila's or Grant's throws, and it almost affected them there, almost landing in an interception as Eisenhawks will punt it away again, and it won't be touched by Albion, so it might be Olivet ball. We'll have to see. An Albion receiver accidentally touched it, and it will be Olivet recovering. Oh my goodness! It was a mishap by the Albion special teams, and Olivet will be recovering deep inside Albion territory. What a play by the Comets!
Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of it wasn't really short, but it was kind of right where the gunners were, and DB running with the offensive gunner was right there. It happened to hit him, and Olivet was there to cover it up. So absolutely what you want if you're Olivet here. Catch a break there with a terrible false start back there. You got to clean up the penalties really on both sides for both teams right now.
1st and 10 on the 33 with exactly 3 minutes left to go in this quarter. Avila, new set of downs, throwing, passes complete. And we'll have to see who that is. It looks to be Caleb Rudd, number 80, on that far side. It'll get enough to get to the 25-yard line, but not enough for that first down. Again, a short, effective pass by Avila, kind of making up for that risky pass he threw at the end of that third down previously. 2nd and 2 coming up.
Yeah, really good job by Avila, just going through his progressions right now. If he doesn't have one receiver, he's going to his outlet guy and getting the ball out of his hands. Not trying to keep it in his hands for too long because that pressure might get there.
2nd and 2 on the 25. Avila will hand off to Jalen Johnson, and the ball comes out. And who will have it here? And we'll have to see. It was the forced fumble there was number 97, Dwayne Williams, and it looks like Olivet will recover. So their first fumble of the game will be Olivet recovering. Really? At least I believe it will be. Yes, it will.
Really important there for them to get that recovery. You can't have those kind of mistakes right now as you're trying to cut into this lead right now. So just a good job of it by the center, Kyle Cruzan, able to follow on the ball and recover it.
It does, however, result in Comet first down. So Jalen Johnson will get the ball again, try to make something happen on the far side. And even 4 defenders for the Britons will not be enough to fully take him to the ground, but still forward motion was stopped pretty early. So it will be a gain of about 3 or 4, and there will be 2nd down for the Comets.
I really like that play call by the play callers for Olivet. Johnson fumbles the ball, you almost turn it over, and then you give it right back to him. Just be like, hey, you're good. Continue to run the ball, continue to carry it with intention. And again, he runs extremely hard. Even 4 guys right there weren't able to put him on his backside.
2nd and 5 on the 18. Avila rolling out to his left, looking for a receiver, and it's complete to Caleb Rudd as he will run out of bounds just before getting to the 10. And it will be enough to move the chains for that first down. And again, I think Avila has really shown a lot of good pocket awareness today. When he sees the pocket collapsing, he does, most of the time he sees it and runs out, and even though he's 16 for 27 today, so a lot of the times it has actually ended up in completions. We haven't always seen that from him, so I think that's something to note for him today.
Yeah. Also, this is the first time today we're seeing Dorian Freeman, so we kind of thought maybe he was out, but he is not out. He's in play right now.
And on the 1st and 10 on the 11, another short pass completed again to Caleb Rudd on the sophomore receiver for the Comets, and that will be 2nd down as the clock will expire here on this 3rd quarter. The score, Albion 44, Olivet 30. But you're right, though, because we were kind of wondering where Dorian Freeman was. He's kind of that, after kind of finding out in the initial games of the season, Jalen Johnson has emerged as the primary running back, but Dorian Freeman has emerged as the firm secondary. Kind of in those late game situations, we've seen Dorian Freeman make a difference. He's been quite an effective running back. But talking about effective running backs, Jalen Johnson has been going off today. Now he's at 25 attempts for 188 yards. Honestly, they have now kind of closing. Let me back up here for a second. If they average about 60 yards rushing per game, Jalen Johnson has tripled the amount of average rushing yards they have in a game just by himself, which is very impressive. Danny Avila, 18 for 29, 163 yards on offense over the air. Defensively wise for the Britons, it's all Adam Mills really. 11 tackles. He has now eclipsed over 100 on the season. And now with the 2nd and goal on the 9-yard line, Olivet will try to punch it in here to start the 4th quarter and to try to get within 10 points here. If they score here and get the extra point, they will only be down a single score. It will be even more important for their defense to step up here. Avila on the 2nd and 9, instead of going to his left, looking for the end zone, and it's caught! Touchdown, Olivet, Noah Bates with Avila threading the needle there. That was a risky throw with, I believe, 3 members of the Albion secondary being there, but a incredible pass, and Noah Bates being able to hold on there, and Olivet getting another score there, Eli.
Yeah, extremely risky throw there, but he put it exactly where he needed to. So a perfect throw by him, and just a really good job by Noah Bates of continuing to run with your quarterback. Kind of ended up in a scramble drill there, and just continue to mirror your quarterback. Really heady play by Noah Bates to get that touchdown.
And here's another risky decision. They're going for 2 again here, but Avila throws. It's incomplete, and now with a 2-point conversion that was no good. See, if Olivet were to get another touchdown here, they would need to make these second points. So I'm not exactly sure personally what the coaching staff was thinking there. Again, I probably would have just gone with that extra point personally. I'm not sure. I would love to hear your thoughts on that too, Eli. But regardless, no good. And the score, Albion 44, Olivet 36. And Albion will be setting up now to receive this next kick and start their next drive.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why they decided to go for 2 there. They've been doing it all day. I'm still kind of not sure why they've been deciding to go for 2 all day. Angel Potter has been pretty consistent with the PATs so far this year, or even Owen FIFA, if you bring him in, he's been consistent as well. So I'm not exactly sure what the decision is with that.
And now on another touch here, another time where Albion accidentally touched the football in return. This time picked up by Braden Fracassi, and this time he touched the football, did not end up in a touchdown. Surprised there maybe to not see a late hit or unnecessary roughness call there, or maybe they are looking at it. I don't think they are though, as there was a late hit on the Olivet sideline by an Olivet person on the kicking team that led to some words being exchanged there, but everything seems to be all right now. 1st and 10 with 10 seconds having been expired here on this 4th quarter on the 33-yard line. Davis Crossman and the offense for Albion back out here as the ball being handed out to Tayshawn Nichols, and it goes absolutely nowhere. It will be a gain of about 1, but that's about it. 2nd down for the Britons.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested and curious why the coaching staff has decided not to just kick the ball and try to kick it into the end zone for kickoffs. They've been kicking it over towards Frishier's side, so I don't know why they're attacking him, as we've seen that he is a very electric player so far today.
2nd and 9, Crossman airing it out to the far side, and it's complete. On the catch there, Cameron Moore again, the senior receiver. It was 1v1 between him and Aaron McCray on that far side, and Moore using his experience and athleticism there, also maybe his vertical as well, absolutely just coming down with that catch. That was a well-needed play for the Britons, as they're already ready and set here for this 1st and 10, now on Olivet's 39-yard line, with 2 backs next to Crossman. He'll hand it off. I believe that actually will be Alex Trudell. It will be, and he will be stopped pretty early on there, only a gain of about a yard there. Again, that's another developing story that we have been kind of realizing here as we've been calling this game, Eli. I mean, we have not seen Alex Trudell at all, and this is only his 3rd carry, and him being the leader in rushing yards by a long shot for the Britons. In fact, before today, he was the only running back to have gotten a rushing touchdown all season. Of course, that has changed now with the emergence of Tayshawn Nichols, the senior.
Yeah, Nichols has had a really good game, even though they decided to go with him, so he's done a good job of keeping up that productivity.
Crossman on that pass will complete it again to Dylan Dennison. He's got a lot of receptions so far, and he will cross the 30, and it will be enough for that 1st down. Honestly, when I'm looking at these players, with the numbers and all that being slightly different, I'm always a little confused. I keep thinking Dylan Dennison's a tight end. He is a receiver, and also it might be because of the fact that he is significantly taller than all the other receivers, being 6'3". So far in this game, he has gotten 30 yards receiving.
Yeah, he's having a good game. He's kind of like that tight end wide receiver hybrid. He's kind of got a tight end build, but they have him as receiver.
Indeed, and Tayshawn Nichols now on this carry has some room. He escapes tackles. He has, he just needed to beat some Olivet defenders to get to the end zone, and he was tripped up just before getting there. He will march down all the way to around the 5-yard line, so a gain of over 20, or around 20, I should say, on that carry. It looked like, however, a penalty on Olivet will bring them even closer to the end zone here. They will probably, I believe, get either right on or they will get inside the 5, actually. It was a hands to the face call on Olivet's defense, but Albion trying to put this game away here with another score.
Yeah, definitely a good chance if they put it in here, they can take away this game, and just the lead will be too big. So crucial stop here if they can get it for Olivet.
Crossman on this 1st and 3, faking the handoff. He'll try to take it himself. Will he get there? Yes, he will. And it will be, unless they rule him down before. It looked like he was in, and it looks like there's no signal yet from any of the refs, unless I missed something, but it will be a touchdown Albion. I don't think I saw a signal there, or maybe they just gave it right away, but it will be a rushing touchdown from the quarterback, Davis Crossman. And now lining up for the extra point, Logan Gerwinski, we saw, we've seen his leg all day, and it's been pretty powerful. And he's been perfect so far, and that's going to be another extra point that is good. So now the score, Albion 51, Olivet 36. If there were such a thing as scoregamis, if you know what I'm talking about, scores that have never happened before, this may be one of those, actually, because I don't think I've ever seen a score that has looked this weird as a 51-36 score, Eli. But regardless, it is an Albion lead of just over 2 scores. And Olivet, they've had time all game, and now that time is starting to run out. Still 12 minutes, still some time to obviously get a score, but it's going to be up to their defense to really limit them, and I'm not sure how trustworthy that statement really is. So Olivet will have to hope for a score and then a stop to even get even with Albion and maybe force overtime at the end of the game, but we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. The defense has just got to pick it up. Again, we've talked about the explosive plays. They've given up explosive play after explosive play, and they just got to clean that up as they get ready to tee it off here.
Kaminski again on the kick. It'll be returned at the 11. I believe that will be Carter Leatherwood, on that return. He'll get to around the 30-yard line, and that will be where the Comets set up shop there on this next drive here, with 11:51 left to go in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, really crucial drive here. Just some updates around the MIA, some other scores. Trine and Adrian are tied 21-21. And then Elma is up 36-3 over Kalamazoo. And then later tonight at 6 p.m., Kelvin and Hope face off in what should be a pretty decent game.
Interesting night game for a Saturday night, which is, I think, intriguing to see. 1st and 10 on the 32. Avila looking to the far side, to the near side rather, but it will sail out of bounds. It will be incomplete. But there will be a flag on the play. We'll have to see what this will be. It was thrown and around the line of scrimmage here, so we'll have to see what this will result in.
Yeah, good job by Danny Avila of just getting the ball out of his hands, even though he didn't have anything, and not taking the sack, as the penalty is going to be on the offense. So out of that, I believe it was a face mask on out of that. So definitely not what you want. That's a 15-yarder. You're going to set yourself back, and now you're going to have first and extremely long. So you got to start chipping away at this long first down.
Olivet getting themselves into a bit of a hole here on this drive now, and this is a 1st and 25. 3 receivers to Avila's right and 1 to his left, and they will look to pass here. Pressure comes immediately. Avila will take it himself and will get about 3 or 4 yards on the carry. Again, as you mentioned, chipping away at that large kind of deficit here. 2nd down.
Yeah, good job of just getting positive yards there by Avila. He kind of had pressure right in his face immediately. So good job of getting out of the pocket and getting positive yards to try to get this first down as it's 2nd and long.
2nd and 20 now coming up with 11-13 and counting left to go here. Daniel Avila has had a still pretty solid game in his return to starter status. 19 for 30, 172 yards and 2 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown as well. He'll run this time on the 2nd and 20 to his right, looking deep for Sean Mercier, but Mercier fell before he could even catch it. Kind of slipping on the grass, slipping on the turf there, I should say, and will be incomplete. The pass was still a little low regardless, so it'll be now a 3rd and very long here for Olivet.
Really good job there by Mercier of just waiting for the gap to kind of open up, and then as soon as it opened up, Avila did a great job of putting it on him. But it was a little short. But if you're Mercier, you still got to be able to come up with that. As you said, he kind of just fell before he could catch it, and then it just bounced off of his helmet, so that kind of shoulder pad area. So just not what you want there. Now you got 3rd and long. You gotta get something here.
3rd and 20, 10:55 left to go. They're on the 22-yard line. Avila dropping back, and play will be whistled. I believe either there'll be a flag on the play. It'll actually be, I'm going to say, timeout Olivet, and you have Coach Yeiner marching onto the field and having some words for his quarterback Avila. Actually, there will be no penalty. I was going to say I didn't see a flag thrown. It's just going to be that timeout. So with, again, as I mentioned, 10:53 left to go in this 4th quarter. Score is still the same. Albion 51, Olivet 36. Let's take a look at some stats really quick as they're in timeout. Olivet has actually gotten more first downs in this game than Albion, 21-18. Again, efficiency-wise on offense, they've actually been doing very well. They're 45% on their 3rd down conversions, which is pretty solid, at least compared to games in the past. They've had 5 times, separate instances, where they have kept the drive alive on these 3rd downs. In terms of total yardage, they have still outgained Albion despite being down by 15. And it's just, again, defensively, they just can't keep up with Albion's attacks here. 3rd and 20 on the 22-yard line. Now, out of timeout, Avila dropping back, pressure coming. The pass is fired and almost intercepted. There was several defensive backs there on that play, mainly for Albion. Number 11, Jimmy Bona, the senior from Pinckney, Michigan, and also involved with that play was number 23, Caden Boyd, a freshman from Allen Park. Actually, I believe that was Marion Backstretcher, number 25, the sophomore from Rochester Hills. Excuse me. But regardless, a big stop there from the Britons. And on this 4th and 20, Olivet's kind of forced to punt here. And Albion will have a chance to maybe whittle some clock here after this return. The return will be Fracassi. Can he make some more magic happen as he tries to go to the other side of the field? This time he will be wrapped up at the 40-yard line. He'll be wrapped up by, on Olivet's side, by number 91 on the defense, Austin Straub, one of the captains for this team. Again, as I mentioned, the only member of the defensive line that's a captain, and he was on that play right there.
Yeah, just not the kind of offensive possession that you want from the Comets. They got moved back immediately by the penalty, and they weren't able to really do anything after that. So good job by Avila of just getting the ball out of his hands. I mean, he had pressure up the middle immediately, and if you're the defense for Olivet here, you got to get a stop.
1st and 10 on the 41. Crossman and company back out here as the ball will be handed off to Nevin Dent, one of the running backs for the Britons. He's still going as he just tries to push his way through for more yardage. Again, his stature, he's 6'3", 240, and he'll get all the way to the 45-yard line, a gain of 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, good job of just keep moving those legs, and the offensive line came in and kind of pushed him forward for an extra yard or two. So just good play there. I'm sure we'll see a lot more running here from Albion as they try to kind of wean this clock out.
That's exactly what's going to happen on this next play. Nevin Dent gets the ball again. He's just making so many men miss on the defensive end. They're slipping off of him. Still not enough for a first down, however. It will be 3rd and 2 coming up for the Britons.
Yeah, we've talked about it all year long. Olivet just they have to tackle better. They had him there for about a yard or two gain, and then he just was able to break some tackles and get an extra 2 yards there. So they got to get a stop here, crucial stop. If you're Albion, you just continue to run it and maybe go for it on 4th down and try to put this game away.
Tayshawn Nichols now at the hip of Davis Crossman, and he will get the ball. Oh, actually, it's going to be a fake pass to Connor Davey, the tight end. Davey has some room on the far side. If he didn't do so earlier, the latest instance of where he may have stepped out of bounds was around the 35-yard line of Olivet. So kind of fooling the Olivet defense there, and I think Albion with that play, especially if they get one more score, they will put this game way out of reach for the Comets. But definitely some a good trickery there from the Britons, and they're going to be finding themselves here in enemy territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good play design by the offense. Kind of just thought they were going to run it. They kind of pitched it outside to their tight end, got some blockers out in front of him, and he was able to pick up a nice run. 1st and 10 on the 27. Crossman will this time hand it off to Tayshawn Nichols, who again tries to make something work on that near side. Get to around the 20-yard line before being pushed out of bounds. It won't be enough for a 1st down. Actually, he'll be stopped a little prior to that, a couple of yards prior, a yard or two at least. And regardless, it will be 2nd down and short for Albion. And yeah, as we're seeing with the clock still ticking, and them not necessarily electing to pass as much in this instance. This is kind of the point in time where they're just trying to get this over with. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they'll just continue to run it, and if you're Olivet here, you got to get a stop. Every drive right now matters. Every second matters as you try to chip back into this game.
Crossman will hand it off to Nevin Den, who's back in the game. Den bounces around some defenders, tries to power his way in. He gets close to the end zone, but not quite there. Definitely, though, inside the 5. Again, he's just using his pure strength on that run. He may not necessarily have a ton of speed, but he's definitely got some things going from there. He's got some late substitutions here for Olivet, some confusion here as Albion's taking some time to get set up here. It's going to be his first and goal. Talk about how close Nevin Dent was. It's on the 1-yard line with 7:22 and counting left to go. Crossman will hand it off to Dent, and Dent will make his way in, almost untouched. Touchdown, Britons. And now again with soon to be for Albion, if they make an extra point or convert on a 2-point conversion, they will be up by at least 3 scores. And with 7:15, I think we could confidently say that this game is out of reach for Olivet.
Yeah, I don't see them really coming back. They haven't been able to hit the home run ball down the field really at all today. They've kind of struggled with that. But offensively wise, you've had a pretty good game. They just haven't been able to push it downfield, which is why I think the game's out of reach for them. But they've had a lot of success today. In the run game. They normally kind of struggle in that area, but today it's really been the strong point of the offense. So definitely something to look forward to for the Olivet Comets and for the Brits. Kind of had a really long, rough season, but starting to see that you can really put things together, put a whole game together, because they really struggled to put entire games together all year long. So definitely a bright future for both of these teams. I'm sure Albion will be back to where they're used to at fighting for the MIA conference. I'm sure they'll be back there very soon, and out of that, just continue to climb up the ladders and not be in the bottom half of the teams in the MIA.
And as this kickoff being returned here by Carter Leatherwood as he's brought down after crossing the 25. That's when the Comets will start this next drive. This is the most points that the Albion Britons have scored in a game since 2019, where they defeated the Bulldogs of Adrian 69-24. There have been a couple times where they've gotten in the high 50s, but it has been just under the current total where they're at, which the score, if I can remind you all, Albion 58, Olivet 36. So, definitely not looking like a team that has not won a single conference game so far today. we kind of saw that too with when Olivet faced Trine, and Trine completely blew them out of the water. But Trine is only 4-4 on the season. They're also kind of in the middle of the pack. They're not super good either. Maybe says a lot about this Olivet team. Avila passing to the far sideline. It is complete. That will be complete to Rashawn Mercier, and that will be enough to get a solid gain. But if you're Olivet here, you definitely gotta go hurry up. No time to waste. You're down 3 scores, so you gotta speed it up. No huddling. Right to the line and run the play. That's exactly what they do here. They waste no time. They do set Julian Toscano in motion, but they get set on the line pretty quickly. It is 2nd and 2 on the 37. Time is ticking. They're under 7 minutes. Avila, pressure coming, throws late. And it's incomplete, intended for Wade Brashears, as it was number 97 for Albion. Dwayne Williams, the 5'9", 221-pound true freshman from Macomb, Michigan, a graduate of Warren De La Salle, on the big hit there as Avila was in the throwing motions. And now 3rd and 2 coming up for the Comets. Let's see what they do here. They are huddling here and taking some time, I'm noticing. Yeah, it was an incomplete pass there, so the clock had stopped. Kind of take a breath for a second, and they got to get this first down here. Avila, 3rd and 2. Pass is complete to Caleb Rudd gets the first down and a little more as he's brought down just before getting to the 50. And that will be enough to move the chains here for the Comets. And it's exactly what you need with around 6 minutes left to go in this ball game. Yeah, really good job of getting up to the line of scrimmage and getting ready for the next play right away by the offense. Avila now dropping back. Pressure's coming. He evades pressure, and instead he will take it himself to the near side. And this is another instance where we were seeing Avila use his legs. And he was actually kind of motioning to his running back, Jalen Johnson, to just kind of, stay on this side. Now it's his 5th rushing attempt of the game, and it will be enough to move the chains. That's another first down, and Olivet is now in Albion territory. Yeah, great job there by Avila evading that pressure. It looked like he was going to get swallowed up by pretty much the entire defensive line as they were kind of closing that pocket, but he was able to get out of there, and then he did a good job of letting Jalen Johnson get out in front of him, get a block, and he got out of bounds to stop the clock. So just really smart play there by the quarterback. Good football IQ being utilized here by Avila, 100% right. Now with 4 receivers up, Avila airing it out, complete to Julian Toscano around the 25-yard line, and he'll get to around the 20. That was also a bit of a pass that had some risk to it, but also maybe some, even though it was a bit of a high pass, there was some room still. So Avila just trying to get downfield, and that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, you definitely got to take some risks right now if you're down by a couple scores, as they do huddle. They got to hurry up here. You still got 5 minutes left, but you're down by 3. You're down by 3 scores, so they got to hurry up. Indeed they do, and with less than 5 minutes now to go, Avila on this 1st and 10 on the 21 fires, and it's incomplete. Either intended for Mercier or Brashears. I believe it was intended for Mercier. They were both kind of in that general vicinity. Regardless, it is incomplete. And now, because of the incompletion, as Eli mentioned, the clock is stopped, so they can take some time here. And the score is still the same. Albion 58, Olivet 36, but Olivet's starting to knock on that door a little bit, trying to get another score. And again, just kind of pointing to the fact that Olivet's offense has still been on point today. This is bordering on the most points they've scored. I think this is the most points they've scored all season. For 2nd and 10 on the 21 with 4:46 left to go. Avila with pressure coming, evades it again. The pass is just barely completed, but it is to Rashawn Mercier. What a heck of a throw by Avila. So solid coverage there by